everybody, and welcome to another NA Weekly. It is not a qualifier this week, unfortunately, for people that were hoping for it. But here in the booth, I have a few people. I'll let them introduce themselves here.
Yo, it's Emo Soda. What's up? So, another NA Weekly here.
Yeah, should be fun. We got Rock Chalk, Gorodine, Qwerty Quaff, and Ice 9. I believe, what were we saying? Two of these runners placed fairly high with the Scrub tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Baby Dodongo tournament that they held, Ice 9, I think came second, so should be seeing some pretty good gameplay regardless. These aren't the top of the top runners, but they are very good regardless, so we should be seeing a good race.
Absolutely.
Bit of a lower turnout than last weekend, but you know, can't really compare qualifiers to normal weeklies. This is a pretty normal turnout, around 50 players.
Yeah, it's not a bad number. We'll see who comes out. 1 out of 50. Only one can take the top slot. What kind of troll are you looking for here?
I don't know if I look out for trolls necessarily, but I hope that they have to switch ages a bunch of times. That'd be really funny to watch, because it's always stressful as a runner.
Oh yeah.
If you're doing that a bunch of times, you're wasting time, right? So, or at least doing it too much. I'm gonna be pretty aware of that. First couple of hints here: King Zora dead, Graveyard Way of the Hero. Pretty good hints.
And it looked like Minuet was on Zora?
Yep,
we'll see it again on Goro. Yeah, Frozen Cavern.
And 30's also dead, so some good hints. Not anything really that exciting. I think you're going to see a lot of players go Graveyard immediately. The only real other option they have is to go Childs and go to Lon Lon. But it's a pretty clear shot. It's right next to CAC too. It's your best location. You're already adult. You don't want to have to change ages already at the very start, so it makes sense going for it.
Yeah, Qwerty's going for the climb the lookout spot to get to the man on the roof, whereas Ice is just doing the jumps across. They get there about the same time.
Yeah, CAC routes are pretty minor tweaks here and there for every player, I think, but it's pretty much the same. It doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, just seconds here or there. Slowly they add up, but early on,
it's all about the density anyway.
Oh yeah. Ooh, I don't know if Ice wanted to hop down there.
No, I think it was a slight misstep there. Ooh, Kakuri Sword here and Windmill on the Harpies.
Yeah,
pretty good find.
Trying to get that line up for it.
That is Sphere 0 because this trick is in logic. Just to keep that in mind.
Adult's Wallet over at the Cow.
Ooh. Okay.
That means he's gonna be on the lookout for more money.
ZL on Song of Storms.
Also that's
extremely strong. Yeah, that's really good. It's really gonna punish players that go Child start, right? At Temple of Time. You're missing out on this Kakuri Sword. You don't know if you're gonna have Boomerang or not.
For sure,
missing out on a wallet that you could buy shields and tunics with. And you're also missing out on ZL, so it's really pretty heavily favoring adult start right now. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Graveyard Way the Hero at Temple of Time. What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Now we can get into the Composer Grave, find out what's in there.
Mm-hmm. It's very possible though that all the warp songs are on Child side, so we don't know necessarily if starting adult or starting Child at Temple of Time is really going to be worth it yet. We won't know until probably 10-20 minutes or something like that.
So far, all our runners are following pretty much the same path. The only variation is QWERTY and Ice didn't go for the hints right there at the Temple of Time. They just dove straight into the Kakariko. They all seem to be following the same route through the city into the graveyard, picking up that heart piece in the grave.
Bomb bag up there.
That could be important.
Yeah, that's gonna be scale or bomb locked itself to get into River's Child to even get the bean in the first place. Unless I mean, there could be child spawn at River or something like that, so it could already be in logic. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, there's plenty of Sphere Zero checks that it could be. And Rock, instead of going for the race, is going with Goro into the Composer Grave.
Yeah, I think this is the better movement overall, because you could get Song of Time and then be able to exit from Dampe Race after, instead of having to void out. It does save, you know, 10, 20 seconds. It's not nothing. So I think it's a little bit better routing to do that. You always could just save it as child and just do it as child, because then you could get the check as well, but it's not really a guarantee. Ooh, Requiem. Very nice find on Composer Grave.
That it is. And all Dampy gave us was a big old rupee and a heart. So Requiem, that could be, if we need child spirit, that could be the way of the hero hint.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, we still have Sun's Grave available, the check and Composer Grave. And it's probably also for the bomb bag that we've seen on the ledge. So I don't think we can discount that yet.
Just depends on where the logic's at, if that's our first or second bomb.
Yeah, it is true. Requiem's pretty strong in itself, so unless they find like bomb chews or boomerang, slingshot, they won't be able to really make full use of that. They might want to save playing Rec until they're child. They know it's a guaranteed song though, so it's kind of a double-edged sword at the same time. You don't really have any items right now. Like, what else are you gonna really do except to go back child anyway? And you know your adult save warps in market, so I think seeing kind of like a shortened adult section is probably what you're gonna see. It's just gathering information right now anyway.
It looks like QWERTY decided to go straight to the desert and see. Oh, and Ice9 going for the song.
Gordon falling off and dying.
Oh, that hurts.
Huge time loss. I hate to see that. QWERTY first to the Requiem check. Can't get a great look at that in the Colossus Archway.
This is like Kakariko's Way of the Hero.
It was something small. Prelude at Requiem. Yeah, that's probably one of the songs they wanted to see the most, just to make their adult section a little bit shorter.
That looked like it was just a blue roop up there.
Well, we know the CAC Way of the Hero is not for Zelda's Lullaby. That can't be Way of the Hero hinted in Season 4 settings. So we know it's not that. And the only thing that we found there otherwise is a wallet Kakuri sword.
Could be the sword. That's still required for certain things, right?
It'll probably be the sword. I would just go to Deku Tree immediately. It's the best location in the early game. There's a reason it had to be closed. Lock the door with the sword in Season 4 rather than Season 3 where it was open. It was just a very dominant kind of an opener. So that's where I would go first of all. And if you haven't done your quote-unquote 3-song, you know, you have free Zelda's Lullaby, so it's not really a thing, but going to Lon Lon Ranch, going to Deku, then going to SFM, you kind of want to do it in that order if you can.
Yeah.
I think the sword Way of the Hero just kind of That's just going to push it completely in that direction, I think.
But it's still possible we haven't found. I mean, Kakariko, there's still some checks you can get as a kid, so it's possible that we don't have the way of the hero yet from there.
Yeah, we know that Minuet access is going to be locked by letter, or it's on Saria's somewhere. We haven't seen that yet. So we have to keep that in mind as well to make sure if we're in logic or not. Which isn't important yet, but once they get a couple items, it will be.
So far, big route diversions. We got Rock going up the mountain first a bit, getting the free check outside of the domain, whereas Ice and QWERTY went right child. And they're doing the Hyrule market checks.
They're definitely being a little bit more aggressive with their gameplay, trying to save a little bit more time, trying to push through the song checks as fast as they can, I think. And I think that's going to be a really strong gameplay in Season 4. It's just pushing your songs, pushing your way to heroes. At that point, you should have enough items and hints that I think it kind of pushes you in the right direction. But it's always kind of in the mid to late game that I think it's where all the races are won. Alright, first look at Castle here. Just another 30 hit.
Yeah.
Already going to Lawmon immediately. And Ice 9 is save quitting. Gonna see where the child spawn is relatively quickly. I like this. Ooh, top of TMT. Nice.
Ooh, that's a good spot. It's too
That's
bad we don't have any
really good.
bombs.
You can get to CAC, you can get to... Oh, you can first look here in Crater. It's going to provide a little bit of info. See if there's anything on the bean here. He already knows there's a bean on Graveyard to get that bomb back, potentially.
Yep.
We don't have a scale yet, but...
Worst skull isn't the worst. Hell yeah.
Okay, $200.
Yeah.
Just
Need that refill. Good
hasn't
thing we got
burned
that
up
big
yet.
wallet.
No one's burned through it yet.
Chickens is just another piece of heart.
Shadow Foolish.
Ooh. That kind of sucks because it's such linearity. It doesn't help you. You still got to go through all of it. You still got to find the keys.
Yeah, I mean, we know that it's... Is it progression? Shadow?
Shadow is,
Yeah, it is.
I believe. That's our spirit medallion.
Oh, see, here... Okay. This is where I went wrong. I wrote down Jabu twice as a stone in the medallion.
Oh.
Well, okay, Shadow's required, so that's good. That's good. We're probably going to go mode it then, because the Lax, the Light Arrow cutscene, that's where the Ganon's boss key is going to be. So, you know, you don't have that check anymore from getting Spirit Shadow medallions on these settings. So it's not really going to be a huge priority for them.
Yeah.
Goron Tunic and Lamon. QWERTY's going to pass on the Goron Tunic.
Oh, he's gonna risk the fire.
Already has the wallet. Doesn't feel like it's worth the time investment. Maybe I think it is probably quicker to buy a Goron Tunic in a shop. You know, if you already have the money. So I don't hate that decision. I don't hate it at all.
If you missed that Epona song, it was Vanilla. So Malin giving us her horse.
This is not one of the Season 4 qualifiers. They took the week off to give everyone a nice holiday break for Christmas and all the other holidays happening. But yeah, it's just a normal everyday weekly.
VXR points out that it makes the wallet less likely to be the way of the hero hint for Kakariko. If you don't need to buy the Goron Tunic.
Mm-hmm. Well, also one other thing to consider, the only thing different between this and Season 4 qualifiers, or one of the only, is, well, you can do the weep skip. So you can just jump over King Zora as adult. It's totally legal today and tomorrow.
Oh. Let's see if anyone
we might
remembers
see
how to do that.
Might see that. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Pretty cool skips, I mean. Yo, shout out to Silver Moron for the sub there. Thank you.
That Twitch Prime Gaming.
Oh yeah.
Alright, what's Richard getting of us? That's
Yeah.
a camera angle.
It is a camera angle. We got any gamers in chat today?
Alright, the first cuckoo gives us a rupee. Let's see what's at the waterfall.
Looks like Ice is going for skulls. They're pretty early on. Only has 2 right now, so won't be able to get up to 10 yet. That's something dark. It's a little unclear yet. Oh, that's the bomb bag.
Bomb bag. Hello.
Okay. That makes more sense with the bomb bag at graveyard now, so we probably know that's not. Whoa! Big Run has a bow.
That's a big one.
So early Valley play paying out for QWERTY. It's really just a great location now, I think. Kind of feels weird to say that, but I think it's true on Season 4. Valley's really not a terrible location anymore.
Yeah.
Fairly likely that there's going to be something there too.
Dampy's popping out a heart piece.
We also saw the Frogs 2 dead hint.
That was very quick over on QWERTY side.
Yeah, I didn't get a great look at it. I think it was just like a bloopy or something.
Yeah. Goro is deciding to get the Goron tunic. Rock against it.
Depends on their comfort level, how likely they think they're going to go to fire. It's medallion, so if you're already only at 3 hearts yet, I think it's fine to go for. If you have the wallet, I think you can just skip it, but kind of depends on how much money you have at the time too, and what you've done already.
And what you plan on using the money for.
Yeah, exactly. If you've seen like the crater wall, $200 there, then I mean,
yeah,
you can use that pretty effectively, I think, in a seed like this,
so
especially being child warp.
Ice is going for her first dungeon entrance with bottom of the well.
Oh wow, that's a very early bottom of the well too. It's 16 minutes.
I mean, he's got ZL. What more do you need?
Well, a bomb bag would be nice. Hasn't gone Valley yet, so we'll see if there's anything in here. Gonna be missing 2 checks. Some number of those might be small keys, but we already have 1.
We saw that child fishing was just another heart piece. Plenty of love in this run, but not much that we need.
Yeah, they did start with Song of Storms, that being the free song from ZL, the seed, so pretty early in logic, bottom of the well. So it might be deceptively good or bad, depends. The players are just doing their first child segment here, going through the song locations.
Hey, QWERTY just got a discount on his Hylian shield. Buying it from the grotto.
Usually how I explain it is you're going to do an opener of some sort, and usually it's just made up of checks that you're always going to do anyway, so you theoretically don't waste too much time doing the things in your opener as long as you're Pretty on the rails for the most part, I think. Which is what we're going to be seeing here for the next couple minutes at least. Ooh, there's a hook shot. There's a hook shot. It's an 18-minute hook shot.
And Ice also found the Giant's wallet from the casket.
Oh, you know, you might as well have a piece of paper to show your identity with. So here's Rudo's letter, at least. Okay, Rockshot getting a bomb bag there. Okay, Goradine right after him.
Yep. I think Ice is winning out on this, though.
Goradine is just... Okay, just wanted to make sure he can make the jump over here to the stone. Ice Knight continuing in Bomb the Well.
Gonna fight Dead Hands.
The other players are just going to run out of locations soon, though, so I think coming to Bomb the Well makes a lot of sense. Just a little unfortunate not going to get that bomb bag at Valley before coming there.
I mean, that's something the other runners will have, though. They decide to go Bomb the Well next. They'll be able to get all these checks.
That's true.
Ice can't.
All the other runners on the restream have bomb bag already.
Ice might have to make a second trip depending on what's in there.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how highly they value Valley as a play. They haven't found any bomb chews yet, so I don't think they can really count on going there as adult without Eponas, without long shot. They have hook shot though. It's half the way there.
Yeah, true. Heart container. QWERTY getting us our first look at the Kokiri sword check. Some free nuts. Yeah, so far Garo and Rock following in QWERTY's footsteps as he routes his way through childhood.
Yeah, first look at Midos. A little bit late, I think, in the seed.
I mean, do you really want to rush? Oh, there's the Zoro tunic.
It's 4 checks, and you know they're all items. No keys here. And...
Oh, he lagged on my end.
Looks like it was a strength.
Yeah, looks like what he checked off, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it looks like Rockchalk's gonna make their way through Southfield. I don't know if we've seen these checks yet. Ooh, there's Hammer, also
Yeah.
in Bomb the Well. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I guess, you know, Ice 9 doesn't quite need the bomb bag as badly now. Be able to access quite a number of checks with that hammer instead.
Just not the child ones. Fortunately, QWERTY dropped a few frames and we missed that first hint.
It is a little bit surprising to see that they haven't rushed Deku as hard as I think some other runners might, but you have to keep in mind too that the likelihood that there's an item on a Sphere Zero check here in Season 4 is a lot higher actually than Season 3. Not like, you know, tens of percents, but 5% here, 6% here. Cutting off Deku Tree really kind of affects that. It has to give you items at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think what you see out of openers now for Season 4 is just a really wide swath, wide search in an area. You want to make sure that you don't have to come back here pretty much ever. Because I've seen a lot of races being determined by overworld movement, pretty much. That was like pretty much it between, you know, places 1 through 10 of quals or something. So I think it's something that a lot of players have really been... kind of aware of and trying to limit as much as possible, but The randomized warps is really what kind of complicates this in these kinds of settings.
There's magic up here in
Nice.
So that's kind of important. Good thing he came. Over on Ice's side, we're gonna see what was in that final chest as the confirmation. Yes, Goron's strength.
Ice Nine making their way towards Deku Tree. Rockshock right behind them. Guardine right on the way as well. Couple seconds outside the entrance here.
Yeah, he just started a little late, so he's right on time with him. Ice already up to 7 Skulltulas. Yeah, it does show that the wallet can't be the way of the hero for Kakariko. Could be the sword, or could still be a child check. There's still quite a few we haven't gotten to there. Could be the infamous Cuckoos.
Yeah, I usually don't worry about that too much. You can kind of get mired down in it. Running seeds, it's more important to keep your momentum going forward. But you know, they've already checked most of CAC. They do have a couple of things there left.
Agreed. Alright, Ice is going to show us the first hint. Shadow Temper's foolish again. So we know Shadow Temple is a bad place to be.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Shadow Temple in this seed. Generally a pretty good location though.
Deku Tree just gave us Din's Fire right at the perfect moment.
I mean, that's pretty convenient. You can't really ask much more for that. The fact that you get that and Magic and Dins should be, I think, pretty suspicious for the runners.
Yeah. And that
There's
does
gonna be
confirm.
Hover Boots somewhere pretty early.
Ideally. Because that's everything you need for, well, except Mirror Shield, but close enough to the important things you need to get into Spirit.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be thinking about where's Nocturne right now. How are they gonna really complete Shadow Temple? I think that's one of the first things they need to figure out right now, because I don't think we've seen Ocarina of Time wait ahead for that.
Not yet.
Here's the bow hint again for Bigoron.
And there's another Deku Shield. Feels bad, man. This is why you never buy a shield, folks.
Well, you start with a Deku Shield in Season 4, so I mean, that one does whatever.
I stand by it. Hashtag team never
just-
buy shields.
Just always buy one. What else are you gonna use it on in Season 4? You barely use it.
Except for when you need it, which is all the time.
You should be able to see that from pretty far away, I think. It's all about budgeting. You know, making sure that your checkbook's balanced. It's another copy of the Graveyard Hint. I think we saw that a little bit earlier on Rockchalk's side.
Believe so.
Ice Ice Knight and Gorodine are approaching the halfway point of Deku.
Storm's Grotto and Kokiri just gives us some more hearts. I find it interesting that Rock decided to go for the forest before doing the tree. Get some milk for it, but it's been slow goings other than that. Final grotto here. More sticks. That's the best thing about getting a early wallet is you never have to worry about running out of rupees when coming to a Deku salesman.
That's
So I
pretty
got
nice.
I got 200 of these bad boys. I can hit so many. Alright, Rock's gonna kill a couple more werewolves here. See, I don't know how many bipedal wolves there are, so that's why I assume they're werewolves. But we got ice on the Goma fight. Gonna be picking up his emerald.
Yeah, getting the one cycle, no problem. Sun Song on Sarius. Probably not what they're quite looking for right now.
No.
So I guess the next stop that they're going to go to is Dodongo's. I'm kind of looking forward.
What was that hint? Something else was foolish. Well, 50 is dead.
I think it was Fortress Foolish.
Okay.
And 50.
That's a good one. You know you don't have to go to Ganon's Fortress. Or Gerudo Fortress. Yep, rip to horseback archery.
Yeah, they really don't have a whole lot else open right now. I think it's really just going to be a clear go to Dodongo play, get more progression done. We still don't know what's on OT, so we may or may not need Jabu. With the letter found already, I mean, that's going to be not as big of a problem.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to worry about Meep Skip.
Some number of them might do it. Depends on when they do Bomb the Well.
True. Who doesn't want some lovely Meeps? Right now with Rock's pathing, I feel like he's behind the other runners on Restream here. Because they've all finished Deku Tree and he's just starting it. Sure,
Yeah.
he did Sacred Forest Meadow, but which would you rather have?
I think it's better to do Deku into there because you have a better pathing. It's more a straight shoot, really, and you don't backtrack. I mean, you could just play Prelude at the end at SFM and go to Dodongos as adult, or go Child Goron City as QWERTY's doing right here. Yeah, I definitely think it should be the other way around, not the way that Rock is doing it here. I think that's more of just an effect of if you've done a lot of seeds where you have your spawn in Kakuri Forest as child, I think that's a fine play because then you can just save quit back to Deku.
Yeah.
So that might be a big reason why they did it that way.
Suppose it is preference at the end of the day. It just, I don't know. I agree.
I think Deku is just too strong of a dungeon to even consider skipping it.
Yeah.
It's just too good. Takes 5-6 minutes. It's really not. It's bomb the well, just kind of on steroids. There's no keys.
Yeah. You just blaze through it and.
You need a stick and a shield. That's it. Instead of like bomb bag, ZL, and then all of that stuff as well. So there's just fewer requirements, and yeah, just a banger of a location for sure.
All right, what's our pot giving us? Some more nuts.
First look at Skull Mask here. Ice9 is doing that right now. Probably
Hey,
has
with
like a ending to their child segment, I think. Okay, QWERTY's going DMT after your Child Goron City. Didn't find anything in Child Goron City, unfortunately.
And Skull
But
Mask
does
is
get
just some
to-
love.
Dang. Does get to kind of string along with some of the checks that they would do as adult. The only thing I don't like about this is they're going to be here as adult anyway. They're going to go to Dodongos next, so I don't know why they don't just play Prelude and save a little bit on time. If it was way to hero DMT, I could understand that a little bit more, but I think that could be a very, very small time loss. Ooh,
Ho
light arrows.
ho!
Light arrows. Let's go.
And that's the thing that Rock did was he already started DMT. He already went and checked that grotto up there, so it's how long is it gonna take him to come back here? Although granted, I mean, child spawn points at the top, so maybe it won't take him too long.
I think he has Keaton Mask, so he might be planning on turning that in, as well as maybe getting up to 10 skulls. So I can kind of see that, actually. Depends on how thorough you really want to be here. Without going to bomb the well, that might be something that he's setting up right now, right? Because he has Sun Song, set up Dampe, go bomb the well.
Yeah. It's definitely getting the time for Dampy here.
So only Ice Knight has done that so far.
Yep, here goes Keaton Mask. So he'll be the first one to 10 skulls. Yeah, we haven't quite learned what Ocarina of Time is yet. Yeah, Ice trying to turn back into Skull Mask.
Every time I don't know what OoT is for, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. Every like 30-minute interval, I'm just kind of nervously looking at my watch. I'm like, okay, when am I gonna get it? When do I know? When do I know? Sometimes it never comes. Sometimes it never comes. So you have to put on your logic thinking caps sometimes. With the letter, I think it'll be pretty trivial. I mean, going to Ice Cavern seems also like a pretty okay play, as long as they have the bomb bag. So that might be something that some of the runners are going to be setting up. We'll see what Ice9 kind of does here. It has a lot of options. It could go Valley. Still doesn't have that bomb bag.
Yeah, that's gotta feel real bad right now. Looks like
Oh,
QWERTY's
right.
setting up bottom of the well.
Hasn't done London either, so he's gonna go do that real quick. So the time's definitely evening out here. Divergence is catching up all across the board, which is something you see naturally in races. Just more so in season 4, it's really divergent in terms of like where they can go. So oftentimes you'll see forward people going into 4 different locations. I think early on, like the first 30 minutes, you're still going to see more or less the same thing, you know, just opener kind of movement and checks.
Yeah.
That you see.
I agree, though. I think usually after the first hour is when you really start seeing people go different ways based on what they found or what they feel comfortable with. So it's good that we're...
Like, one person go to toilet, one person go to shadow, one person goes to water. It's like, oh my god, what's happening?
That's where it gets fun for us because it's like, all right, who's watching what? Who found what? Who's doing this? Who
trying
didn't
to do
find
the mental
this?
math? You're like math lady trying to figure out who's ahead and who's behind sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to overworld pathing. I'm pretty confident in that.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta know how you're getting around and the best way there.
Yeah, I think putting off the dongos for the players that have already done Deku and gotten their song checks, I think might be a mistake. If they're not in bottom of the wall already.
Yeah, I think.
I'd rather be pushing progression because you know you don't have that many checks already. So unless something's already on the way, I think kind of going a little out of the way might not be totally worth it yet. That being said, they have both foolish hints, so they might
There's
be
a
feeling
second
a little
hook shot.
more emboldened to go into places like this. So yeah, first hook shot, or the other hook shot rather. So
Yeah.
you know where the long shot is on Restream. The runners still only have 1 apiece, I think, right?
Correct.
If any. I think it's really just Ice 9 because he went bottom of the well.
And QWERTY. Which, if QWERTY goes bottom of the well now, he'll get the long shot.
I have to imagine they're probably going to. Looks like they're going to be setting up for chickens. Probably taking the CAC way the hero pretty seriously, I would say.
Yeah,
We've already
and the
seen 10
graveyard.
skulls. We've already seen 10 skulls from them too, so I think they're really pushing CAC way the hero.
So Rock is struggling to play Zelda's Lullaby, but he's hitting the fairy fountains he can. And Goro is getting the MIDI Goron hint. Crater.
And we haven't really seen much of that at all. I don't think we saw Ice 9 go into it. We saw the crater wall, that was just $200, but I don't think he got a great look at the bean for the volcano.
No, he didn't go back in and triple check it. So it could be that. It could also be the song. Might be Nocturne Bolero.
Well, I guess we found it. It's Nocturne. It's all dungeons, everyone.
We're in it for the long haul, baby.
Yep. You gotta... Kind of felt like it was coming, though, right? Like...
Yeah. I'm glad for it. I'm happy. Means we get to see Baronade.
They had to have gotten something that opens up another song. The only thing we've seen is Longshot, but that's kind of a 2-step process in a seed like this. We already know it's fire-locked anyway, so they don't even have access to it yet. So it makes a lot of sense that Nocturne's on OT.
Yo, next door got it right. All dungeon for Foolish Shadow. Big oof.
I guess they do have fire access, actually. Never mind. But anyway. So...
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, they had fire
AD.
access.
It's still AD.
Yeah, there's no hope. You gotta. We haven't allowed the Nocturne skip yet.
Got that sinking feeling.
Oh, boy, oh boy.
It's actually not that bad, considering you started with a stone. Deku's really easy to do, considering your Flutter Knight's just right there in Windmill.
We already have letter, we just need to find a boomerang.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a great place to be checking would be Crater. I don't think everyone's going to get that hint, though. Not nearly as early either.
Yeah, no, that's
Let's
definitely a
see
later
here.
hint for most of the runners here.
You remember where that was, real quick?
That was the Midi-Goron.
Oh, but yeah. You're going to see a lot of players just skip that, too. Ice Knight getting the bomb bag now. 43 minutes.
Alright, so he's caught back up, pretty much.
Just needs to go adult. I mean, that's probably the only thing that was maybe stopping him, right? Or now knows where a bow is. You have all your force supplies. You have pretty much all your fire supplies, too. You have a wallet. You know it's in logic. So I think it's go time for Ice Nine, and they might want to be a little bit more thorough and set up Lake. They haven't been here yet. And they might want to also check Southfield. I think you're going to see a lot of players do this, though. It's just a matter of when do they do it. They might not need to, though. Yeah, Cordy's in Bomb the Well now with bombs, so we'll be able to see these two checks. Just a piece of heart on the first one.
But yeah, the Ocarina of Time was on the second castle Waystone, so who knows when anyone else will head that way just to check it. A lot of people might not know where Nocturne is for a minute.
Deku Tree Way the hero. Well, I don't know how useful that's really going to be for them. It's just, they already know they need Shadow.
We got Dins. And Magic. Boy, oh boy, I wonder which one's required.
It's just like the Seed's taking every opportunity to say, by the way, you have to do this Baron Shadow, and you have to do all dungeons for it. Ha ha ha.
Oh, Ice found the hint
There's
at
the
the
other
back
one.
of the lake.
So you have to get the second hint at Castle, or you have to go to Back Lake to get the Nocturne hint on the OT. That's really going to wreck some people.
Yeah.
Because the Seed gives you long shots, so there's going to be some number of people in the race that are like, oh, okay, I'm just going to cross Wasteland, or whatever. I mean, it's still, I don't know. I think some people are going to get baited by this. They already have Requiem, so they're not going to go there for the song check, but I think that's just going to push people that way. Especially, it's kind of a late Epona, right? And it's on Epona, but
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't have a bow yet, though. It's really going to push them not that way. They already know Fortress is dead, too, so maybe not. Maybe not. Nobody's in Dodongos yet, though. Rockjock's kind of making his way there.
Yeah, he already went back adult. He's the first of our runners to go back adult. He's skipping out on the bottom of the well, which may or may not be the right call. But he did get the first hook shot, so that's good. And Cordy did just find the letter, so that means he knows he's set up to enter Zora's Fountain. I'm sure Rock would have liked to find that since he's the first one to go through the fairies. Oh no, Cordy lost his shield. Does he fight for it back? Yes, he does.
Okay, this bottom of the well has wallet, hookshot, letter, and hammer. It's pretty strong. Alright. First look at the Dongo's Cavern for Rockjock. We're finally here, to the promised land.
Every time we say his full name, I think you're gonna say Rakshasa. I'm like, we're not fighting one of those.
Another Deku hint. We've already found all the way to heroes. We haven't seen a crater being fulfilled yet. I think that's really just going to be proximity. Most of the players really haven't been there without the items that they need from Bomb of the Well. I don't think we really saw everyone on Restream went adult first, so no one like rushed Bomb of the Well or anything like that.
The
With
bomb
ZL
shot.
on Song of Storms, can't really do that.
The first scale was found in the bottom of the well as 2, which Ice wasn't able to get because it was behind the bombs.
Wait, what was it?
Scale.
Oh, shit.
Bottom.
Oh my god. Yet
So-
another item for Bomb of the Well.
Bottom of the well is stacked. And Ice missed out on the scale. Who knows if he's going to find it? When do you make that decision to double dip well?
It's really going to hurt them with their routing, especially whenever they get to go to Jabu. They're just going to have to go upriver. That's pretty much it. Well, I mean, actually they don't, because they have their save quit at top of DMT, right? So all you really have to do is hop down DMT. It's not that bad. It's still kind of a little slow. You go through there, through Guan City, through Lost Woods, do the dive to River. A little janky, a little awkward, but it kind of gets around it. The runners don't have Serenade, so I don't think it really matters too much. Oh, right, because he doesn't have scale.
Yeah, so Ice won't be
Big
able to do that.
brain.
He'll have to go through.
Yeah, just do Navi dive. It's cool.
Yeah, no one's watching.
Yep. Big dummy emo here. Commentating for the NA Weekly for you all today.
Hey man, one of us has to fulfill it.
That's fair.
So far, Dodongo has been useless.
Oh, Ice is gonna look at what's on Crater Bean.
Oh yeah,
What is it?
I couldn't
Oh,
see.
he's really far away.
Yeah,
Must have had a pretty good look at that.
I held it for a second, but it was too dark for me. Oh,
Lens.
there's Lens from Grotto.
Well, so my crackpot theory on crossing Wasteland might turn out to be correct. Or
So
it
what do
could
we
be
need-
Market.
What is Lens is only in logic for the game, right?
Yeah, it's just the Lens minigame and crossing Wasteland. So you could technically need it to get to Wasteland to check. 'Cause it's
Oh,
not
Iron
often in the
Boots.
reverse. Nice.
For Dodongos. Yeah, we don't need it to cross Wasteland. We have Requiem. So it's only for the Lens minigame.
No, for the Haunted Wasteland check.
Do you need Lens for
still
that?
need it. Pretty sure. Or is it for the second part you need Lens? Oh, okay. I think it's just for the second part, actually. Never mind.
Yeah, Lens is just for crossing to the temple.
I never counted for that anyway, so...
Either way, Lens could be the way of the hero if we need the minigame. We'll find that out eventually. Dodongo's Cavern gave us the Iron Boots, so that's Water Temple. We need that.
And my reaction to Lens Way the hero, fuck the Lens, man. Give me a real item.
Yeah, you just... Because there's only one check off of that. You don't want to know that's required. That's... just feels like a waste. Goro's looking at it, he's like... Is that a bomb or a wallet? Let me try to get a closer look at it.
Cordy going upriver anyway. Let's see what's on Frog's one here. Rockchalk finishing Dodongos.
Ice Arrow. Bongo's in logic for the Baron Shadow.
Okay, Ice 9 getting their long shot.
Alright, the grotto I always forget over on QWERTY's side.
River Grotto.
Yeah, I always forget this one.
It's the whole reason to come here as adult. In my
Yeah.
opinion. It's just a great check, super easy. Quite a bit quicker as adult than child, but you don't get to do Frogs 1. Having already scaled though, I don't know, I would have probably skipped River. He already has most of the way of the hero hints on QWERTY's side. And most of the other hints as well. So I mean, I think he really should be pushing progression right now instead of doing this. I think he's just being very, very thorough. If you know it's going to be all dungeons, it's kind of better in some instances to do this. He's turning in letter, so I mean, it's the main reason why he's doing this. And I think it's fine. You know you need it for Jabu. I think a lot of players kind of get caught up in, okay, I only have to one-trip it, right? It's going to be the last stone, the last thing I need before getting the OoT check. I might even like dip there just one time, just really focused on doing the one trip. And I think that's great to do that. But also seeing it from a different angle, it's great just turning in letter as soon as possible as well. If you're at all close to it. And I think after you have Bomb the Well done, it makes a lot of sense to do this right now.
Another good thing about clearing letter is that's a bottle you have on hand. It's not taking up a spot. Who knows when you're going to need that bottle.
Yeah, exactly. And it totally depends too on if you have the Ocarina of Time hint. If you don't have that, I think this play gets even stronger. If you already have the hint, it's a little weaker, but
yeah,
it's really not too big of a deal. The thing that I'm kind of harping on is just that it's a lot of overworld movement to commit to, and if you already have Bomb Bag, you know Dodongo's progression. I mean, I'd rather just do that and then find the boomerang somewhere else.
I suppose his play right now is he's thinking he'll be able to boss rush.
It's a 20 magic meter. Not needed, but interesting nonetheless.
He did find the hint that Crater is Way of the Hero, so we know that it's not only a dead hint, or an out-of-the-way check.
And a lot of the runners already having Hammer too. It makes a lot of sense just to come to Goron City, Crater, Dodongos. Your density is so high there that the time it takes for you to do a more thorough playthrough of the child segment, it's just way higher risk unless you know for sure that it's required, and I don't think we have that information yet.
Again, the only thing I can think of in QWERTY's favor is he won't have to do this later when he's just boss rushing. He can just dungeon, 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 dungeon. There's no overworld checks to check.
Wait, is Rockjock missing the hammer?
He did not go Bottom of the Well yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he went adult before doing that.
Okay.
So he's gonna have to come back once he de-ages. But it looks like he's gonna go check the Midi-Goron check. Oh! All right.
Yes.
I guess we're doing Jabu, baby.
Yes, that's what we love to see on Restream. Diving game has boomerang. All right, so who's turning in letter? Who's gonna put that off forever?
I wonder who's thinking, oh man, it's a good thing I don't have to turn in this letter. It's not like I can just do Meep Skip.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really arguing for one case or the other that hard, but I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense to turn it in, and I think it makes a lot of sense to just kind of put it off for a while.
So this changes everything, because like now it was extremely worth for him to come here first. Because he came here, he cleared it out, he's gonna do the dungeon, he never has to come back here as a child.
That is true. Really strong position for QWERTY. He's already done Bomb the Well, has a long shot, knows quite a bit about the seed, generally speaking. And if Rockjack puts out Bomb the Well forever, then it's gonna fall behind pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Doesn't have Hammer even, so
I think
I don't
that's
know
a
what
big
else they can
loss
really
right
do
now.
right now. Yeah, I don't know really what else they can do right now. It's just they're kind of just running out of locations. So I think
Running out of
they don't
locations,
really have
running
any
out
other
of
play.
information.
That's true too. Just based on where the hints are too, right? They don't know that OoT is Nocturne. I think actually no.
He's the
Rockjack
only
does.
one that does.
He's the only one that does.
I'm pretty sure. Oh no, Ice found it
No,
too.
Einstein found the castle one, and then Rockchalk went back lake.
I think it reversed. Ice went
based
back.
on-
Lake.
Oh, okay.
Either way, those two are the only ones that know it.
So if you're in QWERTY's shoes, I don't know if QWERTY knows it. I don't think he does. Looks like he has a hint sheet on his stream, and OOT is blank right now.
Was that
So if-
40 Skulls is dead?
Ooh.
It was just on Rock's screen.
Oh, I missed
Yes.
it. I missed it.
Alright, so
Okay.
20 Skulls is magic, otherwise Skulls are useless.
So if the seed hands you a boomerang, what do you do? If you're in the runner shoes here, you don't have the OOT hint, but you have most of all the other hints. And you only have a couple locations where it could actually be, because you have quite a bit hinted otherwise. So what would you do in that scenario? You just turned in letter, you just did diving game, and it gives you boomerang.
I
Do
mean,
you
one
go in
thought
cover?
is, I'm here. I don't want to miss anything and have to come back here because this is really far out of the way for me as a kid. So yeah, the play might be do Jabu even without the knowledge.
It's not a particularly fast dungeon, but I mean, if it's at all required and you actually need the OOT song, you're gonna be missing a lot of time, especially considering you don't have Serenade yet. You don't even know where it is. So
Yeah.
I think just based on that, I think I would also go into. Makes a lot of sense. Even if it's not Nocturne, it's probably one of the better songs, right? They really don't have a ton. Yeah, ZL, Epona, Suns, Song of Storms, Requiem, and Prelude. That's not really... It doesn't get into like the middle part of the seed where you need to go for Fire and Forest and all that stuff, so...
Yeah. Oh, and there's Bolero on the
Speaking of,
minuet
Yeah.
check.
it's a pretty good one. It's gonna go into Forest, do a dip of Forest. We still haven't seen a bow yet. It'd be pretty funny if there's a bow in Forest as well.
We know the one
Wasn't-
on Big Goron.
Yeah, wasn't too long ago that we had that. They got a qualifier.
Oh, Gora's going for the Rocket Destiny.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen this yet. Everyone else just didn't have bombs or was going somewhere else, higher priority.
Yeah.
And it's...
Early boss key. Just some love.
Dang. I have like a hate-love relationship with the boulder, the north boulder there. Ooh, slingshot.
Hey,
and
slingshot.
Jabba. Very nice.
We're back in logic, fellas.
Are we though?
Probably, I don't know. I think I pay attention to that thing.
I'm pretty sure we are for all the items right now. Well, I guess the only thing we don't know is how do we get to Forest, but I guess we can just assume Minuet from Ice, right? Because that was hinted.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think we're on logic then.
Yeah, that's pretty much full clear child.
I mean, what percentage of seeds in Season 4 do you think that you 80 to 90% of your child checks? I feel like it's pretty high percentage.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing necessarily. I definitely enjoy it a lot, but
I also feel that starting adult kind of makes you think, oh no, I have to get child first. Like, it's always in the back of your head, like, you started me adult as a reason. That means I gotta find shit as a child.
yeah, it kind of depends on how far away you are from Temple of Time, kind of what your starting items are even. There's a lot
That's
that kind
true.
of goes into that decision making that you don't always have a clear, correct decision a lot of the time. And it might not matter too much. And you know, for Season 3, there were a lot of different openers that you could do. A lot of the attention was for Open Grotto Owl near the end of the season, but I mean, there was a lot that was still possible, and you didn't really lose a ton of time depending on the route that you took in the opener. And I think that is probably still mostly true. I think sequencing of areas is a lot more important now. But overall, I think whether or not you go graveyard or CAC first, or if you go child first, doesn't really matter. As long as you do the opener checks, I think that's the more important part. But how thorough should you be? I think it's always seed dependent for sure. There's some checks that are way better than others just based on time, right? So
Oh, absolutely.
a lot of that goes into it.
I have never seen the setup Goro had for the stair bombs.
Yeah, it's a cool one. It came out earlier this year. Well, it was released earlier this year. This cool trick. Yeah, community. Yeah, it was found because of the hitbox for the stairs from DC. It's pretty big. It's big enough that you can just kind of throw bombs in approximate directions and it'll register it as hitting both. So it's cool. It does save a few seconds. It's definitely cool. And,
we are getting the hammer check, and it's strength 2. Sirac's got to feel real bad about that.
Yeah, Einstein's on fire right now. I mean, that's first strength 2 of the restream. It's fairly early in the seed, too. And you had to go to bomb the well first, and he was the first one in there relatively quickly. He got there at the 16-minute mark, so got to be feeling pretty good right now. You have most of your items, too, for a lot of the areas that you're going to go to next. Really missing the bow, and the ominous bigger on bow hints. It's looking a little bit more likely that you might have to go out there and turn something into bigger on. We just don't know what it is yet, even. It could be prescription.
Yeah.
Like, what if that's the crater wave the hero and it's hammer locked?
Oh god. So what do you think? We're just over an hour in. Who are you feeling most confident about taking the lead of the restreams?
I think probably QWERTY. I think they're in really good shape to go to Shadow next. Even, I mean, they know it's not required really. You know, it's barren, but I think getting it out of the way fairly early is not worthless. It gives you a lot of time to think about your sequencing of plays. That's what I would do personally.
I don't know if I'd go. I don't think I would rush Shadow. I think I'd purposely put that off because I don't need it. I'm not going to find anything. Sure, it gives me time to think, but what do I need to think about? I'd rather be doing.
You can think about which checks you can skip, though, right? The whole time, like, what can I actually do versus what should do? Because at that point, you already know. You have the hardest part of the seed required out of the way. You did all 3 stones. You got the song, and then you went Shadow. It's done. So, I mean, you have that weighing on them. They don't have hovers. I mean, obviously, you don't go yet, but I think getting out of the way is not necessarily a bad thing. It depends on where you are in the seed, too, and, again, where you're going.
I think another thing that would put me off from doing Shadows, I don't have a bow yet. I prefer fighting Bongo with a bow.
That's fair. It comes down to personal preference, I think.
That
It's a
was
little
Song
tougher
of
to do with
Time.
a long shot.
Song of Time at Bolero.
Yep. I think we saw that a little bit earlier on Rock Chalk side. Could be Way of the Hero, so it's Song Time or Lens or something hammer locked. We haven't seen the hammer checks there because only Rock's done it, and I think Ice 9 went straight into fire first, right?
Yeah, this Ice is the first one in fire.
It makes a ton of sense to do fire first. Now you can complete it. It puts you on the warp pad when you're done with it. The only thing right now is that bow.
Yeah. Which this feels real bad for Rock going into fire without the hammer. You're getting what, 2 checks and then you're out.
It's not great. It's not great.
This is a decision. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I guess he's thinking it because, oh, I just picked up Bolero, so I might as well use it, but...
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know that Bomb of the Well is absolutely loaded, so he's gonna feel quite bad about that once he finds it.
Yeah, he's gonna think,
But it's
boy, I
not
went
really-
adult too soon.
Yeah, it's not really avoidable based on like when he went adult, unless he's gonna go there relatively soon. I mean, you have preludes, so it's not even bad to go back. You just have to make the call
Yeah.
to do it, and it's not necessarily clear from Rock Chalk's perspective, like what he's necessarily supposed to do. I think you should be making a density play in this situation. So for that, you should just go Bomb the Well because you have Bomb Bag, you have ZL, you have Song of Storms. You got them so early in the seed. They're both Sphere 0. So I mean, I think if you're missing one on him, hoping to get others, it's the place to be right now. And just like looking at the map of what Rock Chalk has done and what he hasn't done, I think it's a pretty clear decision at this point.
That's a vanilla boss key in Fire Temple. You're just dropping Vivagia, right? You're not even waiting.
No, get out there, get out there. Yeah, fire's not super great, so it's basically a reskin of water, is how I like to think of it. It's a little bit better, and it's a different layout, but it's not really a time conducive kind of
Oh, you
thing.
got fire arrows. Oh,
Fire
wow.
arrows as well. Yeah, I don't think there might not be any other people on the restream that even get that because they already have the hammer. They
Yeah.
might not go into the open room and fire. They're gonna do Vivagia and leave, never come back.
Yeah.
Sounds great to me. Sign me up. The only thing this does, kind of note for the runners, is that hovers are available somewhere. 'Cause
Yeah.
They need that. Though it does, I think, give you 3 keys because we saw Rock Chalk get 2, and I'm pretty sure it was key BK, right? So you could
boss
go
key
up
BK.
over.
Yeah, there's another key fighting the Flame Dancer there, so you
Yeah.
can definitely climb it once you have the hammer.
It's really dangerous for the runners, I think, because unless you confirm that hovers just could be in fire for all we know, and key logic locks you out anyway.
Yeah. Or it could be vanilla. I mean, QWERTY's the first one to go Child's Spirit, which we've had Requiem. He's the only one with Boomerang, so he's feeling real good about going here right now.
Einstein will also be the first person eligible to be able to go to Ganon's. I have not seen that yet. Little difficult to get to in a seed like this. I think already going Child Spirit is a pretty good play, considering he's just done Jabu, did Bomb the Well in the same Child segment, which I think is really huge, and is now going Child Spirit just to get the 2 out of the way. I think it's great sequencing we're seeing from QWERTY's side.
I'm
I
liking
think he
Rock
could still
to
be
the
ahead.
Yeah. I still think QWERTY's ahead. I think he has more knowledge, and they've done equivalent things between him and Ice, but I feel like the things that he's done have been stronger. I do like Rock going into the minigame here. It was just nuts. So that's
Always
point in
has
Song
been.
of Time is Way of the Hero.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unless
I mean,
whatever's on top of Crater. We didn't really get a good look at that.
you still need to look. A good look. So Gordine's just right there. I don't know if he's. Oh, it's super, super dark, whatever it is. We
Yeah, I
know it's
always
not their
struggle
long
seeing it.
shot. And we know it's not their boomerang, or it could be bomb shoes, but
He's
I don't
having a
know.
really rough fight over there. He's been at it for like 2 minutes now. I'm sure a lot of it, some of it's not having a bow, and I don't think he was using the bomb damage boost. Yeah, the map chest was the key in Shadow Temple.
Rockchalk gonna be up to 18 gold skulls. Does not have the magic hint on 20.
Vaja gave another Deku shield. But he does
It's
get
actually
the...
kind of going to be bailing Rockchalk out a little bit from the time loss. Going to be going to Bombwell probably in pretty short order.
Ideally, yeah. If he doesn't go now, then he's just really lost.
That he's cursed. He's cursed.
Yeah. Qwerty was gonna finish out Child as Child, but he's gonna say, nah, I'll come back when I'm adult.
Makes sense. He already... Well, I guess for him, he doesn't have the strength to, so it's a little bit of a risk. You might have to backtrack to Child Spirit if it expects you to go all the way to Silver Gauntlet Chest for whatever.
Yeah.
So he did find, I think, the boss key in Spirit already now, right?
Yes, he just found that.
Okay, that's probably what he was fishing for then. I mean, it's the whole reason you come Child in the first place to Spirit. Just to
Yeah.
make sure that you have all your ducks in a row.
Get the final key. Looks like Qwerty
Okay,
might be
let's
going
do it.
for the back hint. Well, first he's gonna do the fairy, but
I think side dungeons right now are really, really dangerous to go to. In a seed like this where you know it's all dungeons. I think a lot of the runners are going to be trying to skip those if they can, because it's really going to be one of the only major sources of time advantage they could have it. And when you know you have to clear most things and get all the
Yeah.
items. So I don't know if we're going to see GTG or Ice within the next hour, I want to say. I think we're just going to be seeing a lot of progression.
So I think the next big question is, Song of Time is probably the way of the hero in Crater. What is that getting us? That's not the Kokiri sword logic, because we can do that skip in logic, right?
Could just be for water. They already have Iron Boots, Long Shot, ZL, Strength. They're really just missing Bow, but they have Din's Fire. So they'll be able to check most things outside of Central Bow target. So I think that's a pretty good area to go to after you clear DC. And assuming you have access to Jabu already.
Yeah. Qwerty choosing to just destroy the bomb chew shop lady. Just relentless.
I mean, she's kind of useless. She just kind of lays there all day. You don't even have a bomb bag. She just refuses service. Like, what kind of business is this?
Hey, she's cute, you know? She's got something going for her.
Yeah, cute doesn't pay the bills sometimes. I mean,
It depends on what your job is.
I guess. Touche. Doesn't pay my bills, that's for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, but Qwerty is our first one to get Nocturne. Which I always think is just a strong song.
Everyone's rooting for Toilet. Masochists. Sadists, rather. I think it's just going to be for BK and Water, and I think going to Water as soon as possible makes a lot of sense for them. I think dipping Forest is kind of... It's okay if you're just planning to do Courtyard. Song of Time could be for Courtyard access. You don't have hovers yet.
Yeah, but I don't think Rock found anything there. I'm pretty sure he cleared it out and...
Yeah, I don't think he found anything either. But just thinking, like, in the runner's shoes, like, what would they think Song of Time could be for? And I think Toilet's, like, a good one. Water is really your major other source of that. But, I mean, Forest Courtyard is a case where if you don't have bow for a while,
yeah,
could be it. Could be it.
I don't like going in Forest without a bow. I'll try to put it off as late as I can.
Wait, do you remember how many keys Rockjock found in Forest? Small keys? Did he find
I do
3?
not. I think he only found 2.
Okay. It could be hovers and logic for Forest as well as Fire then. Right? If there's a key on Floor Master and then you have a vanilla bow that way.
Maybe?
I mean, we don't have Strength Way the hero, so I think... Considering that, if you had Strength Away the hero, I could kind of buy that a little bit more, but then why not go Fire? Because the hammer is so low in logic.
Next said he only found 1 key before Block Room.
Huh. This is definitely a puzzle to figure out. Definitely a puzzle with Seed.
QWERTY is finally going back adult. We haven't seen him an adult since the start. It's been an hour, and he's done everything he could as a child. And he got a lot for it. That was definitely not a waste.
Another great thing about going to Lake/Water right now, you get 2 to 3 checks out of the way at Lake. You get Water potentially out of the way. The main question is, can you go there without a bow? So you don't have Serenades. I mean, if you can get Water out of the way this early in the seed, it's going to be pretty beneficial for you later on. You're just going to have a lot of the other areas you'll be able to warp to, or they'll be right next to each other. So it should be a little bit more efficient to do that. But the question remains, do you really want to go out there without a bow? Because you could just spend a lot of time in Water for really not a whole lot and not be able to finish it and have to come back. That's just seed ending for some people sometimes, I think. So pretty big risk overall. Kind of seeing the runners right now. Dip Forest, we've seen that twice. Rockchalk's now in Bomb the Well, getting all the items here. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. If you don't go Bomb the Well super early on, the next time you have the opportunity to do so, assuming you go like to DC, a couple of progression dungeons, is around the hour mark, 110 mark. So seeing Rockchalk in here at 120, probably a little bit of inefficiencies here and there, but I think he's on the right path. Finally coming here. I mean, it's good he's not here later than he is. So that would really be even worse. I mean, he'll catch up. I mean, he's done a lot as child and quite a bit as adult too. We'll have to backtrack to a couple different places, but we don't even know where Bo is yet, so might not be too far behind at all.
Yeah. We have QWERTY finally coming into Dodongo.
And another thing with all dungeon seeds too, it's gonna be a long seed regardless. I mean, they have to, well, maybe not necessarily a like long in length seed, like duration for time, but they do have to do a lot of things, and that does add up to a lot of time that they could lose over the course of the seed. But a lot of instances where if you lose time early on, you can gain it back somewhere else in the seed, assuming somebody else does it a little bit worse than you did, right? So I think it's really important to keep a calm head in all dungeon seeds. It's more of a marathon rather than a kind of a short.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
That's what I was just thinking of saying too. You're in it not for the long haul, but the long haul.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, Rock can definitely make up time here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he'll
So
catch up. I'm sure.
first look into Spirit though.
Looks like bomb was just a key, so or bow chest was just a cheek. Ugh.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's this bow? Where have you seen this man?
Words are hard sometimes.
Like you're gonna see Link's gonna see a wanted poster pretty soon. Be like wanted,
One bow.
one bow and arrow. Like oh my god, gotta keep a lookout for that.
So nothing from the forest dip. I mean, you got 3 keys, but Cordy's gonna find his iron boots at the top of Dodongo's cavern here. Really, the only thing that's new is whatever Goro's doing. We haven't been to Spirit yet. And Rock got the scale that Ice is still missing. As long as you don't need the gold scale, I don't think Ice is gonna have a problem.
I think he's in good shape right now. I mean, he's got 2 medallions already. So does Gorodine. The other runners, Gordy's nearing the end of DC. He's going to be on 1 med, but 3 stones. So he's 1 stone ahead of the other runners, but about even in terms of dungeon clear. So I think it's not exactly clear on who's ahead there, but I think it's got to be Gordy, right? He's already done OoT, gone to Domain, done Jabu. Real question is where's Serenade, I think, at this point, because that's really going to determine if you can go water later in the seed rather than earlier. So people that rush water, people that rush Domain for Jabu, that early advantage of getting ranked for QWERTY might not add up to a lot, depending on where Serenade is, I think.
Yeah. Which Serenade, what are our options for it? It could be...
It can be Prelude, Burning Cack, and
yeah.
That's all our locations it could be. So I mean, it's going to be locked by Forest, Fire, Spirit, or Spirit. So where's Mirror Shield? Where's Bow? Where's the Bigorana trade quest item? A lot of questions that are going to be unresolved, and I don't think we'll get Serenade. Just going to make an educated guess at this point.
Probably not.
Yeah. So granted that, I think it makes a lot of sense to just do that now and take your risks. Maybe you don't need Bow. It's really only for 1 check, so it's pretty low risk. Might be something to, worth going for, but again, we haven't really seen a ton of new things yet.
Gore found a lot of keys and
yeah.
Otherwise, it's all been retreads.
Okay, new ground here for Gorodine. Ice Nine right behind him. Deep Spirit. My favorite part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite dungeon, everyone?
I know what my least favorite dungeon is. I don't really consider it my favorite. Well, the worst one is just Water Temple.
Like, my favorite room, too, is the one with the Armos, in the place where you shine the mirror shield on the sun. Love that room. Really simple design, cool interaction with Link, and you get to shine your stupid shield onto this platform sign thing that opens a check. It's super, I don't know.
I think it was really cool when you shine the light on like right before to unlock the boss room, shining on the.
Oh yeah, yeah. Watching the sun crack is definitely pretty hype. I guess it's one of the hyper parts of most of the dungeons, right?
Yeah.
It's a really short cutscene, but it's cool. I'm pretty biased. I like Spirit.
Yeah, no, Spirit's a good one. I enjoy it, especially because like there are different paths to go. You're not. I feel like that's one that's not linear. That's my big
really
problem
quick,
with water.
Really quick. It's
That's
the
why I don't like
fastest
water.
go-mode dungeon too.
Oh, for sure.
Well, outside of Deku or something, but even then, it's close-ish.
Yeah.
Definitely, considering that it is pretty fast to clear when you're in go mode, it always feels kind of sketchy to leave just untouched forever, unless you know it's foolish, just because it's such a pretty dense location. It's not too bad. There aren't that many keys. Doesn't take too long, and it's fairly low requirements considering you've already gone to a couple dungeons. Really just need strength 2 most of the time.
Yeah, I think it's definitely my favorite foolish check. Just knowing like, all right, I can just bum rush boss. I don't need anything else.
A lot of forest lovers in chat.
The light
Kind of
dungeon.
disgusting. Yeah, pretty disgusting, I think. Just, why would you like forest? Keppa.
I like forest for the atmosphere. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
very
mean-
chill. It's good. It's really like when you're playing the game vanilla, it feels like your first dungeon. Like Deku, Dodongo, Javu, they all felt like tutorials. Whereas, all right, here's the forest dungeon.
the forest puzzle. It's almost like a puzzle the first like couple times you play through it. I remember that.
Yeah,
It's definitely cool, but I feel like for Randomizer, it feels almost fatalistic at this point, or fatalist at this point. That, like, no matter what you do in Forest, no matter how good your execution is, no matter what's there, if it's foolish, if it's way the hero, if it's your last or your first dungeon, it doesn't actually matter. It's always going to be about the same amount of time, right? Like,
yeah,
you can't really skip that much in it. You always do the same thing. Like, to me, it's the most boring dungeon. It's like the most unoptimizable kind of thing out there, at least for OT. There are some things that you can optimize, obviously, but like at least in practice for me, it's always just like, yep, there it is again.
that's what I mean. I like forest. The struggle is the same with Shadow. It's too linear. There's nothing to skip. But I don't feel bad going through forest because like you're gonna hit every chest. You can't miss anything. You don't get lost. I mean, yeah, you can get confused on the block puzzle, but once you know it, you know it. It's easy. Whereas Shadow, if you make a wrong turn, you get disoriented. I don't know how I'm getting back. I just gotta find the main room and make my way from there. If I'm going upstairs, I'm wrong. That's all I got in Shadow.
This is to me the first GTG play that we're going to see on Gordine's side. Kind of feeling item starved, I think. Just going for density makes a lot of sense. Pretty good play, it's in logic. Cold scale, okay.
Alright.
Okay. At Haunted
Rock-
Wasteland.
Rock
Ooh,
found
Rock
the
Chalk
boomerang.
Nice, nice. So, okay, so that's maybe gonna save a lot of time for Rock Chalk depending on when the other players go domain.
Yeah.
If they put it off at all later in the seed, it's gonna be really good for Rock Chalk in terms of gaining that time back that not rushing Bomb the Well definitely kind of hurt him.
Yeah. It doesn't look like he's gonna small brain and leave. It looks like he's definitely staying.
Oh, that brain's weighing pretty heavy today. Pretty big.
It might be big, but there are definitely some smooth sides to it, you know?
It's for anybody. I don't think that's runner specific or anything, but
Of course not.
Rando's
No.
gonna rando. Rando's gonna rando. I'm just, Just putting words into Zellboy's mouth. It's all good. I
I'm
didn't
not
say
trying to
that.
insult the
No.
guy. I'm just.
Hey, I mean, just kidding. But yeah, QWERTY in fire now. We'll be able to complete it. I'm very confident they know hoverless, the jump to the boss door.
I
A
don't know.
lot
He's
of runners.
leaving the boss room. Oh, he didn't go Megaton yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
Huh?
Yeah, he just rushed the first chest first. I think he just forgot about getting the totem, possibly temporarily.
Either that
Happens
or
to
he
the
was
best of
hoping
us.
that boss key was right there, and he's like, I don't even have to go through this path.
Yeah, probably the worst instance of me getting punished in fire, I guess, ever is like, I think one of the co-op seeds, and I think the bracket, or it was the qualifiers for that tournament for the co-op. We decided as a team to skip the totem room loop to only get the Volv boss key door, and if it's a key, just keep going. Don't get the totem room stuff. And I think
Oh,
first
no.
hookshot was on that skull. And I think like something else, like mirror shield or something, was in the BK chest too. I was like, holy cow! Like,
Oh my
just
god.
super punished. Like we missed 2 items and like a really straightforward thing like fire. So ever since then, I'm just like, kind of remember that I'm just like, oh, I can't do anything else. I always have to do totem room. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I think it's just a like prevailing strategy, right? Unless you know BK's in the chest near Volv, but it's not a sometimes hint, so you can't ever know that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That
I
would
think
be
it's
a
just
sick
always
sometimes
worth.
hint, though. I think that'd be a sick sometimes hint.
That's such a huge gambit. Like, I would not. I agree. Always do the totem room. It takes like 3 minutes, but most people are gonna do it anyway. And it's not like you have to do all of fire. We didn't really highlight the fact that we had 2 runners do reverse wasteland.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I would say it's like a standard trick that most runners should have in their toolbox, especially for like a weekly setting. It can just win you seeds sometimes. So I mean, in terms of movement, it's a little bit faster than you don't even have Serenade, so you have to go from wherever Adult Warp is, which I guess is Market, but they've probably already checked Northfield, and there's not really anything they need to rush necessarily with Epona. You don't have Field or Lakeway the hero, so it makes a lot of sense to do it in this seed if you're going to go to GTG at all. But in terms of like the difficulty of it, it's not too bad. It's basically just knowing where your out of bounds is and just following that to a T every time. And there's some visual indicators you can follow. It's pretty straightforward. It's about as hard as like probably Deku Skip, the B1 skip.
Yeah. I just find it interesting that they could do that, but they didn't do bomb strats on Volvagia. I think that one's easier to do.
Volvagia is really easy to mess up too, though, right? Like if you miss one bomb somewhere, you're gonna be 2-3 phases late rather than getting the quick go.
Yeah, that's true.
It really depends on where your headspace is at for Volvagia. I've seen so many good runners just get wrecked on it time after time. Not even anything due to their own fault. It's just like you have to deal with drill holes sometimes where Volvagia is on the nearest hole near the door where you're putting the bombs. Trying to get the damage through when that happens is pretty hard, and getting Volvagia to fly in the air accidentally happens a lot if that happens to you, because you don't want to like die to Volvagia. That wastes even more time. And
Oh yeah.
so Volvagia is definitely a more difficult boss just because of the whole RNG. Depending on which hole they go to, it's a lot easier to get the quick kill.
I get that all the time, the whole RNG.
Yeah, it's like one of the few instances of RNG for boss fights in OoT, right? Because you don't really have a ton else anywhere. I mean, Baronate's movement, I guess, but you can kind of, depending on where you are in the room, you can kind of influence where they go. I mean,
The big one I could always think of is Phantom Ganon's RNG. Who knows which portrait he's coming out of?
it's not too bad. You have a lot of time to react to it. So that's the kind of nice thing about that. The one that sticks out to me is definitely Twin Rova, and the one that people complain about the most.
Yeah, that one's the
Especially
big one.
if you don't get the quick kill on that. Pretty
You're in
similar
there
to
for like 5
Volvagia,
minutes.
yeah. Well, you don't even know how long you're in there for because depending on how many hits you get on it, Twin Rova, she's only 1 hit away. It'll be completely random for the beams that she throws. So it could be 3 in a row for one, or it could be fire, you commit to it, and then like 10 ice. It could just happen.
Yeah.
That is possible, though pretty unlikely, and it's usually like patterns of like 2s and 3s. But it can be pretty tricky and a huge source of time loss. It kind of thinking of any other bosses that have RNG. It's like Dead Hand a little bit, but that's a side boss.
Yeah, I wouldn't really count that as RNG. It's you get grabbed, he pops up. There's not much.
You know what we're missing out of OT? We're missing like a side boss for G2G. What do you think the side boss for G2G should be? Like if you were to add one, like
What
'cause
kind
it's
of
like the
mob
only
would
one.
it be?
Yeah, like because every other dungeon has some sort of thing you fight at the end, except G2G. It just has a bunch of chests that you open.
I feel like it should be something. Because would you do it before or after Spirit? That's the big question. Is would you have Mirror Shield for the fight?
Probably not. I guess.
So I
'cause
would think it would be something that.
it's always optional, right? In the vanilla game, so you don't have to go there. So
Right.
it shouldn't be anything required, unless you have to go back and retread or something. Who knows? But I think it should be like something like a big Minotaur or Moblin or something, right? Like some kind of mazy, kind of esque.
Yeah,
fantasy, I
Minotaur
don't
would
know.
fit. I was thinking it would be something that, like, to give you a hint as to how to fight the boss. That's why I asked about the Mirror Shield. Something that, like, you'd have to reflect, like, get used to the idea of reflecting things. So that's usually how most mini bosses are in games like this.
I think it'd be really cool if they just copied Ganon's model. So just use the Ganon in the final boss, and just use that as a side boss. Just put it in G2G.
It's Phantom
Is that
Ganon,
great?
but again.
Yeah, Phantom Ganon.
It's Phantom Ganon's Phantom.
Oh my god, the layers go deeper than we ever thought possible.
You ever make a simulacrum of a simulacrum?
It's a boss within a boss within a boss.
Either that, or the other option is boss rush. You do all the bosses again.
Now, if it were possible, it'd be really cool if the jellyfish on Marinade were each a King Dodongo.
Oh God!
Now imagine that if that didn't crash the game, which it would.
Oh, easy.
Fairly sure. Yeah, that'd be pretty dank. Pretty dank.
Well, so far,
Boss rush,
this has been.
OT 3D.
Wait, didn't we? No, we knew Fortress was Baron. Hovers.
Hovers.
Okay.
Bingo.
All right.
Bango block.
So it wasn't a waste. This is definitely worth it.
Yeah, feels good. I mean, the strength 2 was required for keys, logically at least. I didn't see the exact count that they had, but I'm pretty sure it was near max.
He had one left over after getting the boots.
Okay, so there is another key somewhere.
Either toilet or like the first eye chest.
Oh, because of the no bow, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a key and 2 checks because there are. No, right? There's 4 bow lock checks, right? Because there's 2
Yeah.
in the lobby.
And you also
So
got
1 key and 4 items, so it's pretty high likelihood that Toilet's gonna have something. Is it Way of the Hero?
Is Goro going for it?
We'll find out for like in 3 minutes. He's definitely going for it. I mean, he's cleared everything
Yeah.
else out, and he played Song of Time just so he could get the silver rupees. He's definitely going for it, I think. But will it actually have any? If it doesn't have anything, then it just points to like water key logic, right? You got to think for Song of Time. It could just be for an item there too, but I feel like most of the time it's going to be for key logic in a situation like this. Or maybe that's just what happens to me. I don't know.
We got some, we have Rock and QWERTY in Spirit, just 2 different time zones. One's West Coast, the other's East Coast.
And Ice and Goradine both getting the hovers pretty much at the same time. I think they were both going toilet. I don't blame them. You know, it's possibly an item. Could just be the last small key. Considering you need all the keys to get the hover boots in the first place, so...
Yeah.
We don't even know
look
if-
like he's re-entering.
We don't even know if Vilbaji is in logic, because we haven't seen all the keys in fire and the layout there. So this is a really dangerous spot for the runners. Like, we don't even know what this has for, like, bow implications, but... I mean, they definitely need that to even get to the center for hovers. So I think that could provide us some direction on where it could be, but there's still a lot of the game left at the same time. We have more than half our progressions still available to our runners. Ooh.
Alright.
Bigoron sword.
I don't feel bad.
You don't feel
didn't
bad about
need it.
finding a big stick in the toilet?
That's where most of my big sticks are.
Yeah. Should be a like pretty time neutral kind of a time save. Like you took the time to do toilet, but it was Bigoron, so that saves
Yeah, when
I
you
don't
get
know,
to the...
possibly a couple minutes. Depends on what happens and how much you have to do left in the seed. But I mean, in their shoes, it's not a bad find at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not feeling bad about taking the time to do it. I'd be disappointed it wasn't something better, but I'm not...
Yeah, it's probably like my
Yeah.
number 2 choice of items that I would want to find in the toilet.
What's your number 1
Obviously,
choice?
I would. Probably strength 3 at this point, just so I have a reason to go Ganons. Because I mean, for Ice Knight and Goradine, they both have 2 meds. It's a possible play for them, and it's pretty good in terms of density. I think they're going to go water first, especially with no Serenade. Right after G2G, you can just go there. Seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, just hop in the river and off you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better way to get there right now, and their save quit is at market as adult, so the best direct path option they're ever going to have in the seed, assuming Serenade's not even available to them, which I think is definitely possible still. Gotta imagine this is your best bet.
You might as well lab dive first, just because you already have gold scale in Goro's case. Ice will probably do it anyway.
It's a good point from Bear in the chat. Knowing that hovers are bow locked means it's very possible to get an out of logic bow in Shadow.
True. Just a deck your stick upgrade. Not really useful at this point.
I don't know. Going into a foolish Shadow though at the same time, I think getting it out of the way is probably worth it then at this point, knowing that that could be possible. But at the same time, all the other bows could just be bow locked, so
Yeah.
which is kind of looking more likely as the seed is progressing here. It's really the only item that we have a lot of questions on where it could be. Everything else is kind of just going to be, oh, Mirror Shield is here, okay, cool, like kind of a thing. We have all the items otherwise. It's really
Yep.
the only thing left outside of Mirror Shield.
The other problem
Which
with
could
Bo
just
is
be
there's
any-
3 of them, so it's really like, all right, where are you? 1 out of 3 chance of finding you.
I think the runners are going to be pretty happy this is not a qualifier because this kind of a situation is definitely scary to be in. You don't necessarily know if you have to do G2G. The item is on the final chest even, so like if you bail halfway through, like you're going to be hurting for sure because you need to do it.
Yeah.
But you still want to save time because it's an all dungeon seed. But you're still missing a bow, and there's 3 bows available in the seed, but they're not necessarily bow locked. Like,
Yeah, you know,
that's a really tough situation. Yeah, yeah, which you don't even have the item for. Like, who knows where that is?
Yeah.
It could be the bow is logically sooner, and the Bigron item is like in Foolish Shadow or something. I don't even know if that's possible, but
I think it is.
so it depends on where the bow is. At this point, like, what even do they have left that's like kind of low spear early on in the season? I don't know if there is that much. I don't think we've seen ice. That's kind of the thing that's sticking out to me as like a pretty high priority location outside of just Ganon's. I mean, but you kind of want to wait until you get strength 3, maybe.
Yeah, so you
I mean,
can get.
and, like, who knows where that is too? Like, there's so many unknowns in the seed.
We got a big bomb bag on adult fishing.
Nice. It's the kind of bomb bag you see and you're just like, damn, like
Another one.
why couldn't this be in like a non-valley Sphere 0 or something? Especially if you get the bomb bag late or something, it's really gonna be hard to look at.
Some notes at the top. Yeah, go straight to Water Temple. So I feel like QWERTY being 10 minutes physically behind Ice and Goro, he's still ahead comparatively. Having
he
already
still
done
has Jabu
Jabu.
That's at least 10 minutes of going back Child, of going all the way up River, because you don't really have a better way of getting there unless you go like save Gwent from DMT down to Domain. Like it's just kind of gross, and I mean
Everywhere there sucks.
Yeah, like the strongest point is that QWERTY can just go Shadow whenever he wants to. So like, assuming he's done with GTG, he could be just like, okay, go in Shadow.
Doctrine.
And
Yeah.
he could complete it. He could complete it. So, I mean, I think he's still going to go do Water, set up Scarecrow, and then at that point probably do Shadow, because then at least you know you can complete it, right? You don't have Bomb Shoes, so you can play the Scarecrow to get across the gap at the end.
And he's going to have hovers here too, so like, he's really golden.
Yeah,
Again,
he's in great shape. Great shape.
It'll feel a little bad doing Bongo with hookshot, but it's doable. Not the worst.
With hookshot, it definitely feels bad. Long shot, it's not too bad. You never want to be in the situation where you have to do it with hookshot. You use bomb shoes to get over there. Like it's stressful in a race environment, I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely where spin strats for Bongo definitely pay off if you know them. And it's not anything complicated to know. It's just you just do spin slash after spin slash on Bongo, and you can one cycle it.
Yeah, it's just tight timing.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. You kind of destroy your control stick at the same time, possibly.
Yeah.
But,
one missed input, and there it goes. You gotta.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. I guess it depends on how good you are at spin slashes. If you're good at them, then definitely take a look at it if you haven't already as a alternative strategy. I know What the Hell's Happened always does it.
Oh yeah.
So it's definitely used by top runners.
I think another big thing putting QWERTY ahead is how many items he has. He's got everything. He's getting the hovers now. The only thing he's missing is bow, and he's go mode. Oh,
Still
bow
needs
and mirror shield. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not over yet. It's like when it, even if he finds bow, like it's just gonna be a mirror shield hunt. Like it just kind of feels bad. It's like a seed structure, assuming it's not in Ganon's or something. Like it's one of the items I think that's placed first when the seeds are gemmed, so it pretty much can be anywhere, unless it's hunted towards. Which I always feel great when there's a mirror shield that's hinted. Just because I know there's not going to be a hunt for that at least, and if it's something like long shot that you're looking for at the end of the seed, much better situation, just because there's only so many places it could be. There are some places where it can't be.
Well, we got strength 3 and what is that, compass?
Wow. Yeah, that's locked by Din's, and Din's magic is way to hero too, so to me that's kind of suspect for sure. Like I think Ganon's is definitely a play available to them now.
Yeah, I think castle is. You finish water. If you don't find a bow, you go Ganon's. If you find the bow, maybe you go finish forest first.
I still think going Shadow before Ganon's is probably maybe a better bet. Just in case you do find like a Adalogic bow or something there. But I mean, the bigger on item could be in Ganon's too at the same time.
Yeah.
And then that would be your logical bow. It doesn't really require a ton for the seed to do that. And it's probably your best location, Ganon's.
Yeah.
No, it's not foolish. I mean, it's got how many checks with light arrow, or strength 3 rather? Definitely the best location left. And they've already done G2G, most of them now.
Yeah.
So I mean, where else would you even go in the seed?
Ice cavern.
Yeah, that is a play available to them, but again,
That
it's
would
like
be-
another overworld time investment that I'm not sure a lot of players really. I don't know if they would commit to it.
That's another. That would be the only thing pushing me away from forest is I don't have minuet.
Mhm. Yeah, it could even just be like Ice Cavern versus GTG. Like, is it gonna be the case where half the race goes GTG and they're way ahead, maybe even finding something in Ganon's after water, or is it gonna be a case of you just have to go ice anyway, and it's just a actual full clear of the seed, more or less. I think both could be true. I think the bow could be in Ganon's, and then you have to go get your mirror shield from ice anyway. But we won't know that until if they find a bow, even.
Yeah.
After they do forest. At that point, I think we'll know pretty much where mirror shield could be.
I'm hoping they find the frog. I want them to find the frog in water.
The frog in water. That would be extremely on point and very thematic, and I'm here for it. Come to think of it, I don't remember even finding frog ever in water. I've never had that happen. I don't think.
I don't think so. Not for me either.
I've had frog from King Zora, that's pretty hype.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Like, it's pretty funny.
Just like, did you just give me a member of your community? Is in case you're wondering, you will need the classic controller.
It's the best part about resetting on VC. Get the nice reminder. It's like, oh, am I playing on it? No, okay, GameCube, got it. It's really just a test. It's just like, are you playing on the right controller, or are you playing with classic? I mean, it really depends on your playstyle, obviously. Not one controller fits every hands and shape of gamer, so.
Fact.
You have a lot of people that do play on keyboard, We have some players that play on PS3, PS4, Xbox, GameCube. So a lot of available options. It's not just GameCube or bust, though that is my favorite. So I am definitely
No,
biased in that
Give me
regard.
the N64, baby. I got a USB N64 stick. Oh, it's my favorite. It's literally the best.
I guess I didn't list that one. My bad. It's
to be
probably
fair.
my least favorite. Probably my least favorite. I haven't tried really keyboard yet.
I tried
that
with a
yet.
keyboard. It's terrible.
Seems like a big jump. Seems like a big
0
jump.
out of 10. Do not recommend using keyboard for this.
I mean, you can't spin slash, right? So, I mean, takes a lot of the fun out of some rooms for me.
I do agree though. The game controller was the pinnacle of gaming controllers.
Which one?
The GameCube. It is literally the best controller ever.
I think it's close. I think the Switch Pro comes really close, but for me, it's not quite as big as I would like. And I think the triggers on GameCube for L and R just, they're so fun. They're just so fun.
Exactly.
They're really loud too. If you like a mechanical keyboard, you're gonna love the GameCube controller. Let me tell you.
Wasn't that the first controller with haptic feedback? Or I'm not haptic feedback, where like you can press it halfway and it does something different than pressing it all the way.
I think N64 had that for some games like Mario, though, right?
Did it?
Or the duration that you press it, but I guess halfway. That might be true. Like halfway.
Definitely
presses
halfway
and
for
stuff.
GameCube. I remember
Analog
that.
buttons. Analog buttons. I mean, control sticks technically,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know.
One of the first for sure.
Essentially, Goro has the Goron sword, and he's not using it. This is like the ultimate place to use it against Dark Link.
It's a little weird.
I mean,
Might
he's
have
definitely got a
forgotten
good
that he picked it up.
strat, but
I think, yeah, it might have forgotten he picked it up. I mean, the strat works the same as if you had bigger on, so.
it just takes 3 extra slashes with Master Sword.
Yeah, you just have to get Dark Link on your left side, so the best way to do that, at least that I've found, is you wait for the audio cue of Dark Link spawning after you've hit him. It makes this kind of like, kind of sound. And then once you hear him like grunt or whatever, you just hold left for like a second or something. And he just goes in the right direction, so then you hold right and press B and you just always hit him, almost always. Really effective way to kill him.
Ooh, Ice missed the strat for Morpha. Let him out of the corner.
Oof. Hate to see it.
Alright, 2 hours. QWERTY is physically trailing Ice and Goro by a dungeon. Who do you think's number 1 right here of the restream?
Right now?
Yeah.
Surveying the battlefield. Hold on. Get up out of my chair.
Oh, didn't want to put you out.
Looking at the, like... I'm like imagining me looking at like a war map. Like it's figuring
Yeah.
out like
If I move the archers here.
position of Guardian is good, yes, but what about Ice 9s? Oof, 4's wins on Morpho.
Nice. That would have been useful to
Yeah,
have
I
before you
think-
dip forest.
Well, I think to be considered ahead, you have to have all the stones done. So it's either Rock or QWERTY, and of the two, it's definitely, I think, QWERTY. He's already making his way in water about halfway through.
Really, you think Rock is
Oh.
further ahead than Goro or Ice?
I mean... Rock still has to go to GTG, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, what else have the other two done that Rock hasn't done?
Yeah, true.
So I mean, I think it's a lot closer than Rock just being like substantially far behind, and they already have Nocturne as well. And all they have to do is reverse the GTG and complete that, go to the middle. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say. It really depends on where Bo is, right? Because if
Yeah, that's
Coradine or Ice Nine find Bo way quicker than Rock Chalk does, then it pretty much just comes down to that and where Mirror Shield is in terms of who's ahead. But I think it could be the case that Rock is ahead of both Ice Nine and Coradine, but I think it's really close actually between the three of them.
what you think, QWERTY #1?
Yeah, I don't think it's close in terms of the overall restream. I think QWERTY's pretty far ahead.
I agree with that. I definitely think QWERTY is leading. Part of me still places Rock further behind. I feel like Ice is a stronger player, and that would give him the edge over Rock, just from what I've seen so far and the choices he's made and how he's gone about different things.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Ice is second. I'd say Rock is probably third, for the reasons you gave, that he's finished Jabu already and got Nocturne. I don't know when Goro is going to get that way.
I guess the only real knock I would say on Rock Chalk right now is that he went to bomb the well super late, and there's not really an area that he has done that Coradine and Ice haven't outside of Jabu. It's pretty much nothing, and if you look at their heart totals, they're pretty much the same. So that I think that just links out to that even more. Ooh, yeah, Eyeball Frog and Water or Ice Trial. I mean,
Yep.
I always call it Water Trial sometimes, but
I
never
mean,
quite
it's
certain.
basically the same.
Basically the same. Basically the same.
Or realizing, oh shit, I still have all my bottles full. I gotta drink some milk.
You have to unfreeze King Zora to even turn in the frog for Bo, so hopefully no one forgets that. Hopefully no one forgets that and save quits and away their frog or something dramatic, like that'd be terrible.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, we have a trade quest item, so that means we can get a bow. The only thing we don't know is the Mirror Shield. So it looks like VXR is setting up a bet for everyone to where is the Mirror Shield? The bet, whoever is closest, so being more specific makes you more likely to win. If you just said Water Temple compared to people saying Water Temple River Chest, the River Chest would win over Water Temple.
I
You
bet
say-
the Ice Cavern Compass chest. That's where I'm drawing the line in the sand. The seed's gonna be awful, and it's just getting started.
I try out Bomb Tree Chest.
A lot of forests. See in chat. Phantom Ganon.
Yeah, I was thinking it wouldn't be bad on Phantom Ganon, because now that
too
we have a bow,
friendly.
we gotta go there.
That's too friendly, yeah. I'm a little surprised that Ice Nine hasn't just gone Light Trial first, or did he? I might have missed that.
I did not see him go Light Trial. He did get the frog, but I didn't see him go.
Because
But neither did Goro, they both went Shadow.
Yeah, because if you start with Light Trial, it's probably one of the better ones to start with, just movement-wise, too.
Yeah, because you end right in front of the door. It's perfect.
Yeah. And that way you can just go from Forest to Shadow, start with the BK chest, and then do that. Like, it's not a super big thing, but I think it could be an optimization for him.
Oh, double D.
Yep, it's there. It's there.
Yep.
So it's what my reaction every time is to it. It's not quad damage, so I don't care about double defense.
Ooh, Rockshot got caught by the guards.
Oof. Well, so now that we know that Frog's available in Ganon's, we have the bow. Really kind of depends on where they go from Ganon's in terms of how they deal with that. I think just rushing the bow is the right play though, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have for auras, so I don't think it's bad to go up the tower, check the boss key chest, and drop for auras, because it lasts throughout everything. As long as you don't forget that you've placed it. So that'll just be really nice for when you're ready to fight the bosses. You're right there. Bam. I got the last medallion. I'm going. Boss key chest with just a piece of heart. And it looks like Goro did not place for auras here. I think that's a bad play. I think he should have placed it.
For who? For Guardian.
Goro? Yeah.
His Prelude, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You might need to use it later on in the seed, especially for Shadow. And you might want to use it for Forest if you haven't been there already. I don't think it's that bad. It is, I mean, kind of depends on how you feel about it, but granted, their like warp songs aren't that great even. Like, they're gonna wreck to use Forest Wind to go back to Ganon's castle. At that point, you might as well just play Prelude at the end, right, to get your BK, and then you just walk to Ganon's. It's almost about the same amount of time, but if anything, like you want to place it at the BK chest in Ganon's, so you just save the walk up as well, because then at that point it's like a minute of time save.
Yeah.
But I think right now it doesn't really matter too much, because they have so much that they have to do still in the seed.
That's true.
But the main sequencing though seems to be that you have to go bomb the well, then G2G, then Ganon's, and if you do it kind of out of order, it's going to be pretty punishing, I think. It's going to lead to a lot of wasted overworld movement. You have to go from, let's say you leave bomb the well later, like Rock Chalk, you can be behind on items. If you leave G2G, you're going to be behind on Prog. If you leave Ganon's, you're going to be bowless for a very long time, and that might be the only bow. We haven't seen any others.
Yeah, that's our first one. It's interesting that Ice didn't climb the tower to place for auras. He just dropped it in the main room and left, so...
It's fine too. I mean, if you don't want to check the BK chest, and you're basically saying, Mirror Shield's not here.
Yeah, that's...
It's basically what it comes down to, and you're not going to be back until you have all 6 meds.
Yeah.
So it's a little risky, yeah, but again, they might not even keep it there all seed. They might reset it, potentially, depending on what happens.
Alright, so the play right now for Ice and Goro is just go get the bow. You don't need anything else. Once you have the bow, you can start just clearing dungeons.
Yeah, I mean the whole seed opens up, so I'm assuming the Mirror Shield's probably going to be locked by bow in some way, because the players I think have done a really great job of clearing the map overall. There's really not a ton left anyway. That's not bow locked at this point.
Yeah.
And so your next best candidates for that are like basically just Forest. But outside of Forest, it's like, well, G2G, oh, but I already did that. Do I really want to go back? You're not going to go back before progression, so like the players are going to finish Forest at that point, probably consider their options, and either go do Shadow while you think about what options you're going to go do and in what order, or you go do the stuff before Shadow because you know Shadow's dead anyway. Nice 9 is the first player here to make the journey to Bigoron,
He's got that 4-minute timer, and he's losing time left and right here.
So really big time save here potentially for them too. You don't have to go up on Epona to do all of this. What you could do is just get the eye drops and then Bolero, yeah. But you have to do it before the timer hits the corner, and you have to not also be wearing Goron Tunic. So it's definitely risky, but if you can do it, you get a 1-second timer when you exit next to Bigoron, and you can just talk to him before it expires. So it's a lot quicker than going across Hyrule Field and up DMT. You save several minutes doing it. The trade-off is if you don't do it properly, then it reverts back to prescription, I think, and you're in front of King Zora. So
Yeah.
you'd have to turn that in for Frog, go to lab, then go back and do it again. But
it's a big loss if you fail.
Yeah, it's win or lose. It's you can't fail it if you go for it.
So it really comes down to, are you a gambling man, or are you take the safe route?
Well, if you're really a gambling racer, I mean, I think you just go headlong into Shadow. Hopefully you don't have to do this, right? Like, why would you want to go turn in Frog when you can just find one in Shadow anyway? And
Yeah.
Shadow for the dungeons, it's super linear. You have to do all of it anyway. You could just go there, save several minutes if you're going across field. And if you're not, I mean, I think it's more defensible just turning it in, getting the bow then, if you can Bolero and do the trick to get there. But if you can't, then I don't know. It seems a lot worse to me.
I'll just throw my bet on Shadow Temple. I don't think anyone else did it, so what do I lose? For the Mirror Shield, at least.
I mean, if it's there.
Oh, no, it can't be. Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. I wasn't going to win anyway.
Did I just mind game you into doing a bad bet? I don't know. I think I did.
It doesn't matter.
And that's actual Inception, by the way. I'm just kidding.
That's when I closed my eyes for 5 seconds earlier.
Fair. Alright, so we're seeing a first look at Shadow, though. QWERTY's coming in here. Definitely making the gamble. I hope I find Bo in here, or I'm sad. Well, not really, because, I mean, he just goes to Ganon's at that point. It's your best location. You get the Frog, you do it anyway. It's whatever, but...
Yeah.
So
Either way, he doesn't have to come back to Shadow.
Yeah, doesn't have to come back. Knows there's nothing else that could possibly be here, having the Foolish End. So, yeah, I'm really Team QWERTY here. He's definitely ahead of the other racers on Restream. Could be in a really good position overall in the race. We just don't know.
Yeah.
At this point,
we're not going and checking out everyone.
Definitely a player to keep an eye on in qualifiers going forward. He's put up some pretty good results, and he's only gotten better in the last couple of months. So, definitely scary as a racer, I think.
But Ice is our first restreamer with the bow.
There we go.
Ba-na-na-na.
Bo.
Oh, I saw wood over on QWERTY's screen. I'm like, no way. And no, it's just a stick.
Bigoron crafted this bow with love and care, and he wants you to have it.
And he doesn't know the difference between a sword and a bow.
And he may be blind, but yeah, I mean, he worked very hard on it, so I think we should really respect that.
I appreciate him. He's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, the biggest Goron with the smallest brain, the Bigoron.
I wouldn't have it
of
any other way.
rocks. He eats a lot of rocks.
Who knows what was in those rocks?
Can't be good for you, but I'm not judging.
So we never pointed out earlier. Everyone usually goes either left, right, or down left, or down right with the Goron song, or Scarecrow song. Goro went down up. That's a... Man must have a big thumb. I did like Ice's play of going and doing adult archery before going back to Forest Temple. Just on the off chance that it was the Mirror Shield.
Better to be safe than sorry, I suppose. I really think that domain boomerang is really going to wreck a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just going to turn into a full clear, but for who necessarily? I don't know. 'Cause I feel like a lot of players just really want to one-trip it.
Yeah, they're gonna put off Zora's Domain Child until they have Boomerang. Just so they
Like
don't
you
have
do
to
it-
go there twice.
Yeah, I feel like domain you do it sub 50 minutes or you don't do it until like 2.5 hours or something. It's kind of like Goron City in that regard. It's kind of out of the
Yeah.
way. You kind of need items for it, but kind of not really at all. It's kind of in an awkward spot. Just if you don't have Serenade, it's a real pain to get to. Yeah, first look in Forest though. Coming up here past Courtyard, we have seen Courtyard. Nothing really
Yep.
there outside of a couple keys. Ice Nine on the way to Forest. Qwerty's making their way through Shadow, almost at Bongo, or at least almost to the boat. And
Yeah.
Rockchalk is going water now, having Iron Boots, Long Shot, having gone G2G for the hovers. So Rockchalk's definitely catching up here.
Yeah, I definitely feel water is the play.
Especially considering where the boomerang is, I think Goradine and Ice Nine could be massively behind here, actually, Rockchalk.
Yeah, it all depends on where they prioritize child domain at this point. Do they
It's
do
pretty
it?
troll, too. It's pretty troll. Like, it's... If any required items on those domain checks and you don't have Serenade, you never do it unless you go up River's Child in the first Child segment.
Objectively the worst Season 4 Siege you've played. Oof.
I mean, it's not super great. It's all dungeons already, so you kind of know you have to do most of the checks probably, because a lot of the Season 4 seeds you pretty much have to do a lot, or most, if not all, the early game, especially in the child segment, so kind of already know it's going to be a fiesta of some sort, and late bow, we need to get the frog to get one. We haven't seen any other ones in Shadow yet. It's not a great seed.
No, it's really not.
It's really not great. At least the bow is hinted, right? Like, what if you don't have big round hint? Then you just do
Oh
every
no,
actual,
VXR
like,
is right. We didn't
What's
say deep fire for the mirror shields.
Ooh. Yeah, that's...
I
How
completely
many do you
forgot
think
about
you've
fire.
been to? Yeah. Yeah, what was your bet again?
I don't want to talk about it. Maybe it's a late hour cutscene and I'm so close this without going over.
Okay, Qwerty in the double enemy Gibdo room. A little trouble with backflip for the bomb chew explosion. Just a key. Okay, Ice Nine and Maze has 4 keys. Rockjack making their way to strength 3.
And boss key chest. And forest. 5 books. Bloopy just feels like a consolation prize. It's like, well, you opened me, so I guess here you go.
Consolation prize there.
You took the time of acknowledging the fact that I was built. Which, like, why aren't any of the chests locked? Why do we only have keys for the doors and not for the chests? There's clearly a keyhole on the chests. Am I alone in, like, this confusion? If Ganon really didn't want you going through this dungeon, just lock the chests.
Well, he only put 1 lock on the door, too. You're not going to put like 5 key locks on that thing and not spread out the keys. Like, it doesn't seem very secure. He doesn't even like have encryption on the door, like 2-way. Like, I don't know.
Right? Where's the 2-factor authentication?
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, Ganon.
And another thing is, they're so insecure, you open them by kicking the front of it. That's just poor planning on the chest maker's part.
Faulty chests.
I think that would be a neat NPC to find in one of the Zelda games, is like a chest maker.
Pretty cool.
It's like, oh yeah, all the chests you find, I made those.
I even think a lot of players are going to go ice. Go ice, full clear the game, last location the boomerang. It's going to happen. Just a matter of who's going to do it.
Alright, QWERTY 1 cycle bongo, it looked like.
A bow on bongo would be great.
You're so troll.
And
It's the mirror shield!
It's a bloopy. Oh,
Damn it, I was so close.
Oh, I thought you said somebody did find it.
No, I was joking about it being on bongo.
I mean, it's pretty easy to mistake a bloopy for a mirror shield sometimes.
Yeah, they're both reflective.
Yeah, they can be. Mirror shield can be blue now if you set cosmetics to match the item model. A fairly new addition to the rando. Pretty cool.
Does Ice not have fire arrows? He's struggling.
He does not. The fire arrows were at Fire Temple in the big room chest.
Oh, right.
Room, which only Rock did because the BK was vanilla, I guess.
Yep.
Big shrug. Yep. QWERTY's going pretty much straight to Ganon's castle. We'll find the bow eventually.
Oh man, that was a risk on Ice's part with that bounce back. That was close.
It's always it's pretty variable, like the angle that you need for that. pretty forgiving. It's just the falling wall moves so slow, more than anything.
Yeah. Yo, shoutouts to fast blocks.
Yeah. Imagining this puzzle slow is giving me anxiety.
I don't even like calling it a puzzle. It's
Technically a puzzle.
technically.
I mean, it depends on if you think the definition of a puzzle includes 4-piece puzzles. Like,
Yeah.
do you think that's a puzzle, or is it just an exercise?
It's just a formality.
That's just an unpaid internship for Link. Isn't that what that
Yeah.
is? Some guy's just like, hey, just move these boxes for me in this specific order. Okay, but make sure the picture lines up. And he's like, in
And
a
you only got
warehouse.
2
Like,
minutes.
it's okay. Alright. Alright, now you get to play more Forest Temple afterward. No! Anything but that.
You don't even get to play much more. You just get to. Alright, you get 2 more bosses and you're done. I think the final puzzle, the spinning room, is more of a puzzle than that. Oh no, I just got the wrong Poe.
As long as you don't get attacked by the purple Poe, that's the real salt in the wound. Like, hardly ever happens to anybody, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's fairly easy.
I think it happened to me once when I was a kid. And that's because I didn't understand what I was doing.
So it looks like QWERTY did pick up the frog, so we'll be on the path to that bow fairly shortly.
Yes, he did. Rock made his way to Dark Link.
Looks like a pretty clear case of Team Left versus Team Right on the restream, at least. We got Team Left, QWERTY, and Rock already having done Jabu. They can go clear Shadow. QWERTY's already done Shadow. Team Right don't quite have Boomerang, kind of hoping to find that, then go Domain, but when will they go to Domain? That's the open question right now.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Ice got the Ocarina of Time hint. I don't think QWERTY did. I think he just went for it.
Ooh,
Oh!
slam dunk. Ice 9 with the mirror shield.
There it is. In the linear forest temple, so there's no chance of anyone missing it.
And VXR and Monster Polly winning the bets. Nice.
Yo, congrats.
Good job. Star was pretty close, I think. Almost had Phantom Ganon, but dang. I know I saw someone Phantom Ganon there. I don't know who had it, but
Yeah, this is officially no mode. Once QWERTY goes forest, that's go mode for him. Your emote broke. Sorry, emo. Your emote broke.
oh, damn.
Get Shrek, nerd.
Can't win them all. I like how the BK is like on the door there for Rock Chunk, like in the final fight. Did you see that? Where like it went out of bounds camera.
It's fine.
He definitely got it. It's fine.
So it looks like we didn't need Ice Cavern. That was the big troll. If you went Ice Cavern, you went wrong. The bait.
Yeah, I mean, I chose the wrong area. What are you gonna do? I could have chosen forest or ice, and that's pretty much it at that point in the seed. So
And ice leads to forest, so it's just putting you behind.
yeah, I got you baited for sure.
I don't think it was a bad play, just not the right play.
Exactly. Overall, though, we got 51 racers still in this, or that joined. We have 3 forfeits, but overall, that's not too bad for a weekly, at least so far. But no finishers yet out of 51 people. It's about expected, I think, for a seed like this with its item locations and where they are. It's kind of gross.
Yeah. If we assume that QWERTY is the furthest ahead, then he's looking at what, another half hour at least.
Yeah, it's like part of me is like, there's not even that many locations outside of everything they've done and everything they still have to do. Outside of ice, that's like the really only thing you can do that's not required in the seed, right? So,
yeah,
or that you're going to route in otherwise. So I think there's going to be a lot of finishes and then like a 10 to 20 minute window where like a good 2/3 of the race all finish within that window. So like having this be a qualifier seed would be disastrous, like points wise, I think, for the average racer. So I think they're really.
Sure.
I think most people are pretty happy if this is not a qualifier. It'd be kind of gross.
Yeah.
For quite a few reasons.
Well, it looks like Ice went back Kid.
Yeah. Yeah, Ice is going back Child, and really it's just like treasure chest game, maybe Child Goron CD. I'm not entirely sure if they've done that. Outside of that, there's
Domain. That's the big
Domain.
thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So I think they're on a good path right now. But they still have to do Jabu, they still have to go get Nocturne on OoT. Meanwhile, Goradine, I guess not Goradine, he has to also do the same thing, but QWERTY, really all that's left for them is go get the bow, I guess. I mean, right? There's really nothing else for them.
Which is
just
that do Forest Temple.
Yeah, so I think Team Left could edge out Team Right today. Even Rockjock, I mean, he's been behind for a majority of the race just due to that bomb of the well and putting it off for so long, but I think they could claw their way back into this. They're really not that far off. They did the Forest Courtyard dip too, you have to keep in mind as well. So they have like almost half of Forest done. So at that point, and they've full cleared most of Spirit, so it'll be a really quick dip into Spirit for a lot of the racers, I think.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's get the bow, I guess, and that's it. As long as you go to Domain.
Which I'm really thinking Boss Key's got to be... Because they don't have Boss Key for Spirit, right?
Oh no,
they do.
Sure
they got it as Kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just rush Boss. So Spirit will be over in, 8 minutes, and that's 5 minutes for the boss fight.
Oh, it'll be less than that. It'll be. I think it's a pretty safe prediction, but no, it's gonna be like a 5-minute Spirit, right? It's gonna be about 2 minutes to get to Punroba, and maybe 3 minutes for the boss fight. Like it's gonna be a quick ending to this. Like Gomo Spirit's insanely quick, especially if you've already cleared most of it.
Yeah. Yo, we're 2 hours and 30 minutes in, and we're doing chickens, baby.
Hey, I think this is a great play from Ice Nine right now. You really only have a handful of things left. This is probably the nearest thing that you have. The real drawback is it's a couple minutes, and somebody might just finish while you're doing chickens, and then what, right?
Yeah, what are you thinking? Like, oh shit, what did I... It wasn't chickens.
It takes a couple minutes to get to Domain. Your child spawns at Market, so... If you're assuming chickens doesn't... What's that?
Child spawns DMT.
Oh, DMT, right. Well, yeah, that's even better to just go to Domain first, right? Rather than do chickens.
Yeah,
It's not even 2 minutes to get there to Domain, and then a minute maybe for both checks. It's really not too bad. and then you're right there next to Jabu. So best case scenario, just assume it's not chickens. And
Yeah. The only reason I
think it'd be
think it was
slightly better.
chickens is because of the way the hero hint. It's like, but I already got Way of the Hero off of it. I wouldn't be thinking that I'd be getting Boomerang off chickens.
Yeah, I mean, CAC is Way of the Hero, so I think that's a big driving force behind. I think most of the players have done chickens, or maybe only half. I know that at least one other runner on the restream has.
Yeah. I think
It's probably Rock Chalk, I think, and then maybe one other
Rock
player.
and Goro did chickens.
Okay.
Definitely multiple people have done it.
Like, you have most of the items. This is kind of like a situation where you could metagame pretty effectively, I think, and just say, okay, would somebody actually be done? Would Marco be done? Would Mr. Martin be done? You know, all these top players, would they be done already if Boomerang was here? And I'm not sure that's the case.
Yeah. Definitely not. If Boomerang was there...
It makes it even harder. And we're really just kind of arguing over like a minute of time save, if that. Even if it's like if you go all the way to domain and there's nothing there, like you just wasted a couple minutes anyway. So I don't think at this point it really matters. I think it matters more on your efficiency and what you have left, and trying to string it all together. You know, just your overall routing. I think you're gonna see like this is gonna save you way more time than knowing if it's chickens or something else, and kind of deciding between the two of them. Which the longer that you are missing Boomerang, the less efficient your routing is. So the longer that they keep the search up for, I think the worse they feel about it for sure.
Yeah. Well, Goro was the first one to do the twin robot fight. That was very tight on that shielding. QWERTY gets his bow. Where's he going first? What's his first stop? Is the Mad Lad gonna go deep fire first after getting the bow?
I mean, it's more checks, right? They're not great checks, but
oh no, okay. He went Goron. Whew. That would be.
Oh, you mean for QWERTY? You mean for QWERTY?
Yeah.
Does he not have Frog?
He got it. He has a bow.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah, he's going first. Okay.
I'm here.
I'm just saying.
I'm here.
It would be a massive throw for him if he went deep fire right now.
He missed Frog. Yeah, or that, yeah. I don't know why he would, though, because you have Forest available, so, like, why would he go fire?
I don't know. Just because he was there. He's like, I'm here, I didn't really go... I only got 3 checks in there. But yeah, no.
Only if you know Forest would be foolish. That's when you're like, okay, maybe. And you have all... Yeah, I guess... really, he has nothing else left at this point.
Yeah.
Forest, so...
And to finish... Oh, no, he can't finish Spirit.
Yeah, that too, I mean. But knowing where the Mirror Shield is, it's gonna be maybe... I don't think QWERTY sub 3s, but he's gonna get like a 305, 310, something like that.
You think in the next 20 minutes he'll be done?
Yep. Well, 25 or 30, but yeah.
That's why I was thinking more like at least a half hour.
Because
he's got all of Forest, which is, what, 10 to 15?
Oh, did he not go Courtyard before?
No, he just got Bolero.
Oh, okay. So he'll finish it at 2:59, and then still have Spirit, but it's only a couple minutes. Okay, so maybe like a 3:15, 3:20. It's my new updated guess in real time.
Yeah.
And I think so. I think the first place is gonna sub 3, possibly. It's not even necessarily guaranteed because of the placements of seed. But
Every
I
seed
think
is sub 3.
I
Let's
think
be
there's gonna
honest.
be one. There's gonna be one person in like a 50-person race that will sub 3 probably. So I think it's possible. I just don't know if it's gonna be done today. You know, if all the stars are gonna align for one person. I think
You're
it
right.
will, but
I think our first finish will be around the 3:10, 3:15 mark. I don't think that any of our runners, anyone in this race, is going to sub 3.
wow, calling the shot.
I do believe every seed is sub 3. I just don't think it happened this time.
It's fair. I think it's a pretty good bet with only 15 minutes left.
Because you got to figure they've got to be on their way to Ganon. Like, they got to be finishing up their final dungeon and moving towards Ganon at this point to sub 3. I don't think anyone's there.
So here's the question. Knowing that a lot of runners don't like to do domain, just in general, what do you think the percentage of the players in this race is of people that got Boomerang relatively
30.
early and people that got it late, like last location, basically?
I think 30% got it early at most. And that's
30%?
like a high guess. I'm thinking definitely more than half. I'd guess even closer to, like 25%, a quarter of them did domain early.
It's a good guess. I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like I really want to know the answer, but I don't know necessarily what is. Because if you're in a qualifier setting, right, it's like, okay, if I know that 75%, like you're saying, really don't like going at domain, you can kind of take advantage of that, and if you're right next to it, just do it. And then if there's an item there, wow, you're way ahead, and you did pretty much nothing for it. So and you turned in letter, and probably you're child 1 or child 2. So at least in this kind of a seed. So I don't know. I think you're probably right. I think it's probably closer to 2/3 third or something like that. Of a third of people probably picked it up early, and 2/3 didn't. So it's one of those things where I want to know the answer, but it's super hard to 100% get the right answer on, right? It's a part of metagaming that doesn't necessarily pay off a lot of the time, but when it does, you can come in first, right?
Oh yeah. I definitely think that early domain was the gamble here. The big gamble, the big losing gamble was Ice Cavern. Seeing minuets there and thinking, all right, that's not a required song, but it's a nice song. I guess I'll get it. That's where you're losing.
Yeah, in terms of checks per minute, it's not that bad. I mean, roughly it's like a minute per or something. For an early-ish check, if you have scale early on, I think it's pretty good to go for in general. But
again, that's with foresight, knowing that nothing else is there. I think in the moment, it's probably I would have placed it higher at some point, but knowing what we know, that was the big loss. That's just a 6 to 8 minute dump that you're just SOL.
Well, especially if you're missing bow forever too. In your child 2, you're not going to go to domain at all, and it's not that bad to get there with your save quit even. So I think for me, it's not even a gamble. It's just kind of it's a low spear kind of a play. But if you're missing bow for more than 90 minutes, I think checking that and Goron City is probably one of your 2 best bets in terms of density and child. If you do Child Goron City, Sun's warp back to the entrance, then go domain, it's not too bad time-wise. You get a lot of stuff that's orphaned pretty early on, and it is somewhat of a meta play, but I think it pays out a lot more times than when it doesn't. Especially considering Season 4, you have a lot of kind of early-ish checks be fairly high percentage likelihood that there's an item there, but it's spread out amongst a lot of checks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a tough call to make, and I don't think we know the like 100% correct answer yet, or at least in most cases. Like 75% of the time, I blank to domain. Like I skip domain or I go rush domain. Like
Yep.
I don't know what the answer is yet. I don't think a lot of people do, but it's one of those interesting questions about Season 4 that definitely makes me excited to play it.
Domain is always just rough because it takes so long to get there. Even if you have scale, it still takes a while to get there comparatively to other places. And
Yeah,
you're
it's worth it,
getting
Brendan.
3 checks. Unless you have letter and boomerang, then you can do Jabu.
There's also the 3 hint stones too, though. So I mean, that can also, if you push that for information, and then you just find an item anyway, it gets even better at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. Like you said, it's hit or miss, 50-50, left to right. It's never
Ice versus
always a good
PG.
play.
Like it's that kind of a thing, right? Almost.
Yeah.
It's sometimes very hard to know what the correct answer is, but you have to pick one of them. Oftentimes. Yeah. And today you had something.
But we do have Goro. You know, he was in the river. Now he's in Goron City. He was so close.
Man, to be in QWERTY's shoes right now must be feeling pretty good about where he is. I mean, he's past the halfway point in Forest. There's nobody done. It's 2:50 on the clock.
He must be thinking he made the right call. Like, alright, all I'm missing is Mirror Shield. What have I missed? I've done Domain. I haven't done Ice Shield. Or Ice Cavern.
Ice Shield.
I'm gonna finish Forest, and if I don't find it, I'm thinking Ice Cavern, I'm thinking Fire. But either way, step 1 is finish Forest, and hope you run into it. Luckily, in this case, you do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, once he does find the Mirror Shield, you're very, very much more nervous at that point, probably. It doesn't matter who you are. You're gonna be like, oh, dang, go mode. What? Nobody's done?
That's definitely the worst
Ice
thing.
Knight is, yeah.
Hitting go mode sucks, because it's like, alright, how many other people are in go mode? Who am I racing? Am I against the clock, or am I against a better player? I don't know. And it's just a terrible feat.
Well, you don't know where they are, too, but I think it's actually pretty stress-free, at least for me, to be in go mode. Unless nobody else is done, then it's like, well, I could do really well here, and if I make one small mistake, I lose first, right? That could be kind of, you know, a problem in and of itself, but I think overall for go mode, it's like, you've done all of the best routing that you could possibly do in the seed, and you found all the items. You just have to do a couple things and you're done. I guess it depends on how long your go mode is. If it's like a couple hours go mode, it's definitely stress-inducing. But if it's like a dungeon or two, you just have to focus on your execution and just get there. I guess. I mean, it's all it comes down to.
So Ice
for me,
made a call. Ice made a play. He went back to water. Didn't go domain yet. He's like, I guess I should go finish water. Get the last checks in there.
Makes sense. I mean, I think in the shoes, it's like, okay, nobody's done yet. This is kind of an example of metagaming that you could do, but I don't think is the best call to make for sure. If you think you missed an item, it's probably in your child segment, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's not, it's going to be somewhere so insanely gross. So I think he's taking the second line of, it's going to be in toilet. It's going to be locked by this, behind this, right? Like, so
he's thinking,
I
I
think
got
it's
bow
fine.
so late. It's got to be behind the bow. And he's
A
thinking,
bow
where are the
punch
bow
check,
checks?
Right. That's fair. I mean, it depends on if you think Boomerang's the last item or not, too. Like, what if
Yeah.
it's... I don't even know where... There could be an item left for it. But really depends on the sequencing of things that you do. And where and what you have left in the seed. And just your prioritization, I guess, what it comes
Yeah.
down to.
I don't think I'd put deep water ahead of either fire or ice cap, though. I think I would do deep fire or ice cavern before I went back to water.
Especially if you know it might be a small key at river chest or anything left in water. If there's any chance whatsoever, it's like one item check for 2 things and it takes you 5 minutes to get there. Not worth it, in my opinion.
That's what I mean. He got in, he did the river.
There's still stuff left on the table that are obvious item checks, I think, that are, I think, better decisions in my mind. But I totally get going for the gross checks that if you think nobody's done yet because it's in some just impossibly hard location to get to, that's definitely a good play sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just you don't know in the moment if it's right, and it's can be a little discouraging, I think. Yeah, the Song of Time Way of the Year is a good point for that. Like, it could be the case that it's locking Boomerang, but you just don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they've already mostly all gone to toilet, so they know it's not for that. I'm pretty sure it's for key logic only, but
Probably, yeah. Either way, Goro's got it now. It looks like Ice is finally going domain. But I think with that, Goro pulled ahead of Ice at this point.
yeah, I think so. I mean, he's in domain, he's on his way to the ring. It's right there. Oh, Ice is in domain as well now. Okay.
Yeah, no, he just went there. He got the 1 check in Water Temple and immediately went Kid.
Wow, it's going to be really close between Gorodine and Ice Nine now. It comes down to an execution race between them, specifically.
Yeah.
Could be very close. Whereas Rockchalk and Quarry, Rockchalk still doesn't have to do Jabu. Has already done that. Almost done with Shadow. Really just has to go back to Forest and then back to Spirit. So he's on a pretty clear path at the moment. I don't know if he's going to surpass Team Right here, but I think he's got a decent shot.
That's what I mean. I
Shadow's
think
one of the longer dungeons, so
I think Cordy's first. I think it's gonna be a toss up between Goro and Ice second. I think Rock's coming in fourth.
okay.
Just because I think he did some of Spirit, so that should go quickly. But he's got all of Forest, whereas yeah, I guess that's all you got is Forest. Goro and Ice have to do Jabu and Shadow.
And Quarry picking up the Mirror Shield in
yeah.
the basement there. So he's all in go mode. I like his tracker. His go mode is just really large text that says go mode on his
Yeah.
tracker. You see, because there's some trackers out there that have like the shining like glow mode, like wow, look at that, like
Yeah.
dang. And I like the simpleness. I like the simpleness or the simplicity rather. Sometimes it's more about getting the information out there rather than doing it beautifully, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I say this as like a fan of really ugly spreadsheets. I love ugly spreadsheets. Like, just I don't like it when they look too nice because then I think it detracts from the info, right?
You think you put more
I guess
effort into beautifying it as opposed to
Yeah, yeah.
well, Ice
That's
is in
just
go
me,
mode.
Yep. Well, yeah. Not quite because he doesn't have Nocturne, but you know.
Yeah,
He's in no mode. He's in no mode. Okay, so Rock is gonna fight Bongo now. Do keep in mind he's already gone and done Forest Courtyard, so whereas Goradine and Ice Knight have to do all of Shadow, Rock only has to do about half-ish of Forest and
Half
walking
of
to Twin
Sphere.
Rova and Twin Rova. So
Yeah.
I still think that's shorter than the all of Shadow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got 2 half dungeons and they have all of Shadow. So I mean,
I think
I don't know,
Rock's
it's gonna
ahead
be
here.
tight.
I think Rock's ahead.
It'll be tight. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a couple minutes or something difference, but
Again, I think it's gonna come a lot down to execution. And from
yes.
what I've seen, I feel like Ice has the edge in that.
No, I agree. I mean, if he has a perfect Shadow Temple, it could become very, very close. Cordy just casually walking to Twin Rova. Get to see the last Twin Rova. Oh, second to last Twin Rova, the restream.
Yeah, you can see Ice marked his go mode. He knew that Nocturne was on OOT, so.
I think this has been a pretty impressive performance from Cordy. Definitely a player to look out for in qualification races for Season 4. I think he could make it. If he has more performances like this, it's going to be good for him.
Alright, we got about 35 seconds for this sub 3 hour. ZSR bot didn't say any finishes. They gotta hurry it up if they're getting it in.
No.
Yeah, Cordy's got about 20 or so minutes from here. Alright, rip the sub 3 hour dream on this seed.
So sad. So distraught.
I'm still
I
banking
thought
on.
it was possible. I thought it was possible.
I'm still
I guess
betting
no one went domain early. Still
10
betting.
to 15 minutes for the first finish.
Really? From 3 hours? I don't know, man.
Like I said, 3:10 to 3:15. Yo, chat's expecting 2-minute snipe on QWERTY.
It's quite the call.
I like the exact time, 3:18:42, down to the second.
It's a good guess. Well, not for QWERTY, but it's a good guess for someone to finish.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And QWERTY's gonna finish in like 6 minutes. He's gonna like sub 3:10 to this for sure.
Did he leave Furores in Ganon's Castle?
I think so.
Oh,
He was there.
Gavaroni finished
Ooh.
3:01.
Very nice. Gavaroni. Qualifying for Season 3 brackets. Very good player. Definitely got to keep an eye out for that guy. Namaha coming in second.
Oh man, 12 second difference.
12 whole seconds. That's what this came down to for first. That's pretty big. I mean, I felt like it was possible. I mean, the end game is very, very linear. There's really not a whole lot you can do that's not required outside of ice. It's some overworld checks here and there, but it's really going to come down to overworld movement, efficiency, and checks. Sequencing is a big thing, but
and also the
overall,
order.
Very nice finish. Yeah.
Did
very
you
nice
dip Forest early, or did you go other places first? Well, Goro finished Baronade. So he's got to go get Nocturne. He's got to pick up his Ocarina, go Adult, and then go through the whole Shadow Dungeon. So he's looking at what, 25 minutes to completion? Ooh, Ice getting wrecked by the Rockock.
Hate to see it. This room sucks. Always sucks. There's so many ways that you can get hit in this room. It's just one of those rooms that if it goes wrong, it goes terribly, and if it goes right, it's just perfect, right? There's so many rooms like that in OT. Like, you got the map room in Ice, pretty good example. Even the ice block room in Ice is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not GTG. Master Quest has a lot of rooms like that.
Oh, yeah, oh, for sure. Alright, Goro's getting Nocturne here. And then he's just gotta wait 7 years to go do the dungeon. Yeah, Cordy's got like 13 minutes to completion.
For your original guess to be correct.
Oh no, I thought, how long does Ganon Castle normally take? It's only like, what, 10 minutes? Not even?
Oh, I thought you said 13 minutes. I'm like,
I did, I rounded.
Oh. No, it'll be about... Because he's already done Shadow. All he has to do is warp there. So, it should be about 5... It's usually about 5 minutes for... I think quite a few runners to do. From like entering Ganons to when you do the final slash. It's about 5 or 6 minutes. Could be around 8 or 9 depending on your execution, obviously, but... I think it's usually a pretty good time guess if all goes well.
He thought he had Auroras, but he didn't, so he's gotta go run
Yikes.
back.
Yikes! Yikes!
I thought he had it too.
I mean, I thought for a minute that he didn't, but I didn't want to say anything in case I was wrong. So I mean, I think he just warped after the BK chest and didn't set it then. Kind of sucks to see. He could have definitely saved a couple minutes off of what his finish time is going to be now, but probably a little bit annoyed at this point. I think if I were him though, I'd be feeling pretty good about the performance that he's had today. And like a qualifier setting, like you want to be about 10 to 20 minutes behind first. I think at least for how these have gone points wise, it's about where you want to be. It's pretty forgiving. So we're seeing a lot of pretty high point finishes, I think, overall. But, you know, it's still only 5 minutes since the first 2 players have finished. And not a bad place to be, walking up to Ganon. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if you polled any kind of racer and they're like, okay, so first and second are done, but you're like 3 minutes behind and you're about to complete the game. Are you happy? It's like, no. Like, wow. Like, what do you mean? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if him miss warping would be what cost him third. Like if someone's gonna finish in the next like 2 minutes. That's gonna just feel bad, man.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I think it's possible. It's possible.
Could have had the bronze, but you didn't use Ferror's win properly.
See, what if he gets third anyway? Then it's just something you can point to, like, okay, I just have to pay more attention to that next time, and it's not really an issue. It's just
yeah,
kind of something to stuff like that to look out for is definitely where if you're trying to improve at the game, at least you gotta take it in stride. You know, can't be too bogged down by your own mistakes. And Guardian is in Shadow. Ice Knight is about to go into Shadow. Doesn't like the hint that he just read. Did you catch which hint that was?
It was the big Poe hint.
Oh. I assume it's dead, right? Or is it?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something stupid.
Ice Knight, a big Poe hater, apparently. And Rockshock, on the other hand, is about to face Meg, the purple Poe.
Oh,
And
first
then
he's got to
really we
face
have-
Greeny.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I don't remember Green's name.
Amy?
You got to
Think.
sound all fancy with Meg, and here I am, just the green one.
Listen, the ghosts have names. It might not matter, but they got names.
I know they do, and that's why I look like a loser not knowing the green one's name.
We're all winners here.
Alright, so T-minus 3 minutes on QWERTY's Ganon kill.
Ooh,
There's third.
third place.
308.59 to Yuso Epic.
And
Oh,
there's
oh, oh.
fourth. Floof Ploosh, French runner. Very good. Very strong finish.
Yeah, that's a bit more than the save warp cost. So I'm not feeling bad about it now. It's like I wasn't gonna get it anyway.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more than the save warp cost. I mean, it was what? I don't know. It might not have been because to get to the BK chest from Temple of Time, right?
I think it should
And
be
you have
done
to play
right
Prelude
now.
again. Yeah, something around there. I think it could be as much as 2 minutes that he lost. In which case, I mean, it still doesn't. I don't think it really confidently beats third or fourth here, but I think it's definitely possible. It's more of just like the overall efficiency is more of the thing to focus on in seeds like this. I
Yeah.
think.
Like I said,
Like,
he's
how long
definitely
did it
taking
take
this.
you to go from like decision to decision and kind of commit to things and not making mistakes. It's more of kind of that, I think.
He's definitely walking away from this with, all right, I know where I made a mistake. Keeping track of Auroras, just some other minor executions, but overall, he's feeling good about it.
Yeah, we'll find out. See if we can get them in for an interview.
Yeah, you want to at him and see what we can do? There is the official time, 3:10:54, I think. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yo, and his timer is 3:10:54.99. Definitely a solid play.
Not bad at all. Especially for all dungeons, like... Yeah, 50 people, 5th place, gotta feel pretty good about that.
So I just tuned into his audio and he said he's pretty glad this wasn't a qual.
Yeah. I think most people are, or would be.
Oh yeah, he beat Marco, look at that. Marco in
Ooh.
6th place.
3:12:15.
That's a late domain. he went domain on his second child instead of the first.
I think that's one of the big storylines so far of qualifications season 4 is Marco's not as dominant as he was in season 3. I think we've seen that in a lot of different weekly settings and some qualifiers even.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess, just because, you know, players that have a really big win streak and do really well overall, arguably the best player. A lot of focus is drawn on that, but you know, season 4 changes up some stuff. I mean, I think it's what everyone wanted, or a lot of people wanted, and it's definitely providing that, especially in races, finishes, that kind of thing. But I'm just glad that we don't have to do Zelda's Lullaby check anymore, and you don't have to hand in letter, like none of that. Thank God. There's only so many hundreds of times that I can do that again and not just crack like. All right, the 700th time that I hand in the ZL check, that's when I go crazy.
All right, he said in his chat he's going to join the interview.
Nice.
So, I guess we'll see him shortly. But yeah, as for our other runners, Goro a bit more than halfway through Shadow now. And I'd say Ice is at the halfway point. And Rock is about a minute and a half away from Twin Rover, 2 minutes. You just gotta do the oh god, Iron Knuckle fight.
Seen some other finishers here as well. Phoenix Feather in 7th, 3:15.15.
That's still not bad. I mean, 7th place.
And there's only 8 forfeits as well, so it's a pretty normal for a weekly, I think. Nothing too outrageous yet.
Cariosa coming in 8th place, 3:15.48. That's another, what, 30-second difference? They seem to be coming in twos, except QWERTY. He was the... Oh no, even QWERTY with Marco right behind him. They're all just minutes apart, or seconds apart. Yeah, first to 8th is minutes apart, but all the finishers have been seconds apart from each other, like first and second or seconds, second and third, or first and second, third and fourth, 5th and 6th.
I mean, from 1st to 8th, it's a 15-minute spread. I think that's pretty normal for like a not a jet, and it's all dungeons, and you had to go to a couple specific locations pretty efficiently.
Yeah, I think
just,
all
like,
dungeons.
you can
is
lose.
what-
several minutes to, depending on how you route things. So if it was like, you know, second place got like 315 or something, maybe. But hey, welcome, QWERTY.
Hello.
GG's.
GG's.
GG, my guy.
So what made the difference here? I assume Boomerang? Like not rushing AD? Because I obviously, like I did AD unhinted, because you never find the shit for it unless you actually have to do it.
Yep.
I was pretty sure it was going to be Nocturne.
The big thing was going domain earlier, not and putting off going there until you find the boomerang.
Mm-hmm. I see everybody is on a 30 bow, so I assume that is a big Oron.
Yep.
Yeah, dang, that sucked. I see some of these runners are go moding Shadow. I did Shadow before a lot of my like other dungeons, even before going to Ganon's, because Shadow could have a bow in it, because those hovers are bow locked, because there were only 8 keys available without a bow. So Fool of Shadow like pretty easily could have had a bow. So I was like really hoping it did, and yeah. I don't know. I was really hoping Fool of Shadow would have a bow. That was pretty big. But then, I don't know. I can't complain because Forest Temple having a Mirror Shield is just, like, perfect.
Yeah.
Can't really get much better than that.
Yeah, it was super nice. There weren't too many locations outside of that where it actually could have been. There was really not a whole lot left in the seed. So it was pretty much like Ice Cavern after that, and then Overworld stuff, I guess. Or you do that before Ice. Kind of depends, but...
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice structure at the end.
It was Ice. What I had left was Ice, all the bow checks in GTG, the bow checks in Water and Lake Hylia, and Fire Temple, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, who's gonna re-enter Fire, right?
I was considering it. I was definitely considering it. I don't know. I would have gone Ice, and then I would have gone straight to Fire before going to GTG, I think. If I needed to still go for Mirror.
Yeah,
because going back to GTG feels really bad.
Yeah. Would you still have done the same thing missing Boomerang?
If missing Boomerang? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
So I think that's where a lot of players were, is they kind of had all this early child stuff. So did you like miss Boomerang, or do you think it's locked by song time? We saw a couple like checks like that near the end, but
gotcha. I assume a good amount of people did chess minigame too, because that like could have been Woth with Lens and a Woth DMC. I was definitely thinking about doing like you saw me rush right side GTG, and after that I wasn't like, it had to be either Central or Water Boss Key had to be locked by that, which would have sucked. Because if you saw, like, I went towards River Chest because I was gonna do River Chest, and I got like a couple steps of the way there, and I was like, wait, I don't have a bow, I can't do this, and then just save it.
Yep.
I'm happy I recognized like early enough, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that if you catch yourself, you're like, okay, how can I catch that sooner and not think it's like something I can do? But like late bow kind of seeds are kind of like that though, right? It's like you can't really take for granted a lot of stuff. It's just it's a tough situation. It's kind of like late ZL seeds almost, kind of the same situation, very similar. Like you have all this early stuff in the game and it's all efficient, but like, are you really going to go and do all that, or is like maybe your shield right over here?
Mm-hmm.
But we did actually find the. Oh yeah.
I wonder if the King's Aura skip being legal pushed players away from domain as child, like from turning in the letter.
That's what I think.
I really think it did, because like personally, I mean, I obviously I know how to do KZ skip, but I'm in like the S4 kind of mindset where like I was trying not to do it if not necessary. So I definitely wanted to get the domain checks as child, and the reason I was going there, like anyways, was I was going to Deku at the time, right? Or I had just finished Deku. I had finished Deku, bottom of the well. I did what I like almost always do in Season 4 seeds, which is if I spawn as adult, I do CAC, Graveyard. If I get bombs, I do DC. Otherwise, I just dip and go straight child. And that usually works out like, really well because you just want to get like the song and the really quick cac checks. You're gonna be back there anyways. You don't want to walk around the world and do a bunch of stuff out of logic. Like if I can get the bolero check, usually I'll go up for that. But really, I find it like really beneficial to just do the cac stuff and go straight child.
Yeah.
Trying to push out like there's absolutely like early adult in S3 made more sense because you had like the adult save warp always in the same place, but here it's a little stranger. You're not gonna get much closer to Temple of Time than CAC, honestly. Sadly. At least we had Prelude this seed. I was happy about that. Me and Emo played a seed earlier today, and it was a similar time for AD, but no Prelude in that one. So the items were in way better locations, but I had to go back and forth between child and adult, and no fast way to do it.
Oh, that's always a rock.
Yeah,
It's
really close race at the ending here for Rock, Goradine, and Ice 9. Looks like Goradine is ahead. Ice 9 and Rock are on Ganondorf both, so it just comes down to their final fight. It's pretty amazing for the restream, at least.
Looks like Goradine finished 11th place.
Ice and Rock are neck and neck.
Yeah, they're right there. It looks like Ice just got ahead a little bit. Not clean one cycle.
I see these
Right
runners
behind
don't
me.
have Big Horon Sword. They didn't do Toilet?
Just Rock.
They all have it, don't they?
I don't think Rock has it.
Oh yeah, but Gordy
Goro
and Ice
does.
definitely have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Goro and Ice got it.
Okay. Well, you'll be pleased to know we did find the 2 OoT heads.
Yeah, I never got one.
The first
It
one was the second hint in Market, or not Market, Castle.
I was
go all the
thinking
way
about
up.
going up there. That's a slow one to get. I usually only get that one if I'm like waiting for day or waiting for night.
And the other one was the back of the lake.
Of course it was. Yeah, okay, I can definitely see like this seed sucking because those 2 hints are horrible, and if you miss the boomerang, you're just like you don't even know you have to do AD.
Yeah,
You could
without
just like with doing KZ skip, you might actually no, because the song on Serenade was hinted, but you might, I don't know. If you get the bow early enough, you could just like rush every song and then figure out you have to do AD, and that's gonna waste a lot of time. Because having Nocturne is really nice too.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot did. It was probably not a lot of people got the OT hint, so they're like,
Oh,
that
gosh,
even pushed them further away from domain. It's, well, I don't have to do Javu, it's a stone.
Yeah,
I'll push it
and
off.
you don't have to turn in the letter unless you're doing the domain checks, because you can just jump over King Zora.
Yeah.
I wonder if this seed would have gone like a little differently if people could have done, or if King Zora skip was not allowed like in season 4. I feel it would have gone a little differently. Or I also would have liked to see how it would go if, you know, we had like an OT hint at like Temple of Time or something. That would be another thing.
Ice 9 just finished at 3:26.08.
GG's Ice.
Pulling out just ahead of Rock. It looks like Rock's going to finish in the next 7 to 8 seconds. I don't know timing. I'm just making up numbers.
Just above him, looks like. Yeah, so very tight finish overall, and pretty competitive on the restream here.
But how did that feel? You were, when the first place finish happened, you had just entered Forest, I want to say.
For me?
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Okay, when first finished, I think I was like just getting like my last medallion, right? I was just going into the Twin Rover room. I was really upset because I was certain like I would have gone faster in Forest if I'd known that I hadn't placed my Feors in Ganon's. I was like certain about that. So you saw me like play Nocturne, go there, and then
Yeah.
place Feors. That was really annoying.
Yeah.
But I feel really good about the time. I'm not extremely happy with how I played. Like, there's a good amount of stuff that like I definitely could have improved on. A lot of execution errors. But overall, I'm pretty happy. Like, I can't be upset with 5th place, and I can't be upset with less than 10 minutes behind first. Like, that's amazing. It's really good. So yeah, just a couple things I want to clean up, but overall, I'm very satisfied with this.
Yeah, I've turned on your audio for a second. I heard you say that you're very glad this wasn't a qualifier.
Yeah, because I'd be so mad at myself for like the Feors stuff, a lot of execution stuff. I'm not sure how much you guys noticed, but I ran out of bombs in the well and I had to leave a check there, which is just stupid. I should never do that. You can just save scum if you need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty upset with a couple things that I did, but I mean, I got handed the mirror shield in Forest, so got pretty bailed out with that.
Yeah, it looks like Gordian will not be joining us, but Ice9 and Rock will be in here in just a few minutes. Sounds like their interviews.
Nice.
So you pointed some of your disappointments out. What were you really happy with?
What was I really happy with? Doing AD unhinted and getting Nocturne. I was really happy with that.
Well, it's like we were saying, like, when you get handed a ring and you just came to turn in letter, are you really gonna walk away from
when I
that?
get the boomerang,
especially like where it
no
was
chance.
too. There's a
Absolutely no chance.
great thing for you and a bad location for a ring, so definitely understood.
Yeah. I'm a like big proponent of if you get the Jabu items early, you have to do Jabu. Like, it's very, very rare you don't.
Yeah.
Both of them, because those two things don't unlock all that much. Like, Boomerang specifically unlocks 3 things. If you get that and Rudos, you have to do Jabu.
And joining us here is Rock Chalk. GG's.
Yo, GG, my guy.
Thank you.
GG's, Rock.
GG.
So what did you think of that seed, Rock?
It honestly wasn't too bad, in my opinion. I think I cleared too much overworld, but other than that, I think I played pretty well.
A little bit. You were, for a bit, on a restream, it looked like you were behind. And then you kind of just, like, all of a sudden, like, you did Jabu, and half of them didn't. So it's like, all right, no, you're ahead.
Yeah, at that point, I had seen the Nocturne on OoT, and so I just knew that it was required.
Yep.
So.
And then you were neck and neck with Ice. Like, literally, you walked into the Ganon fight maybe like 10 seconds ahead of him. And then...
And then I accidentally slashed with the hammer, and I don't know how that happened. I think my finger just slipped off the trigger.
Oh, no.
And I accidentally hit Y on my controller, and that slashed the hammer, and lost me like 30 seconds.
Yeah. That's what let him get ahead, was you took 3 cycles on Ganon. You got in first.
Yeah, my door fight also wasn't the greatest. Oh well.
Yeah, on Restream at least it came down to Team Left, Team Right. Team Left had Rock Chalk and Qwerty that you got the Boomerang and you did Jabu, you got Nocturne, and Team Right just took forever to go back to go to the man to go get that rank. So we knew it was close between Rock, Gordian, and Ice the whole time, but exactly who would finish first is kind of up in the air the whole time. I think a lot of it came down to execution.
Cool. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it was a good finish. And
when exactly did you get Boomerang?
I don't remember. It was like, I don't know, 110-ish? I don't remember. Probably a little later than that.
About
I don't remember exactly.
I know I got it around 55 minutes, and I just did Jabu unhinted. So I guess you got the, did you do the back of Lake, or get it from Hyrule Castle?
I got it from Hyrule Castle.
Gotcha. Okay. I was considering getting that hint, but I mean, I guess I'm happy I didn't because I did OOT unhinted.
Yeah, so I guess, did you do bottom of the well before DC then?
Yeah, I did. I did a very, very long child. I did just cack and graveyard, and then I was child until like 120.
Okay, so then you got Nocturne on Child 1 then. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I got Nocturne Child 1. I was really hoping for Boomerang because I really wanted to get the OOT song, whatever it was, in Child 1.
Also joining us here, we got Ice9. GG's.
Hello, guys. Good night. Good evening, I should say.
GG, my guy.
Thank you.
GG's, Ice.
So, general thoughts about the Seed Ice?
Yeah, I thought I routed pretty well on the first 1 hour and a half. Then I was a bow, mirror shield, and boomerang from go mode, and found I thought that the way of the hero of Crater should be for Water Temple, and I lost quite a while back there in hoping for a boomerang, because I thought that my first bow in Big Auron wasn't the first one of the seed. I don't know if there's one somewhere, but
Not from what we could tell. I think that
Yeah,
was the
no.
new bow.
Okay. I was about to ask the same question, like, was there a different bow?
Not that
I don't
we
think
saw.
everyone got the Big Goron one.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were some like plays here and there that maybe it's in shadow, maybe it's in ice, but overall, I'm pretty sure that was the only one that we saw, at least on Restream. Kind of gross. Like you kind of see that hen, you're like, that's not required. Get out of here.
Yeah.
No,
It's like a 30
Serenade made it
bow,
way worse
right?
too.
Yeah.
yeah, if I only did Jabo just after Forest, I should get my boomerang, and this time would be a lot less than it is right now. But overall, I'm satisfied with my routing. I think I played well as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Turns
kind of
it-
like playing well through bad locations, right? Like the Rang was just an outrageously bad location if you don't turn in letter in your child one. So like it's kind of just playing around that, right? And so I think like with your finish, it definitely was good, considering that.
I gotta ask you guys, were you planning on like, did you not turn in the letter because you were planning on KZ skip? Because I was wondering on like that being legal, how that would play into people. Because especially with that Rang location, you just like the domain checks are slow, getting to domain is slow, and there's no reason to actually turn in the letter.
I actually didn't end up doing well until Child 2 because DC was open, and I'm like, oh, progression, let's just go do that. And
Mhm.
I could have just save warped and taken the owl down to CAC and done well, but I felt like DC was a little better, kind of just to rush progression. So I didn't end up doing well until Child 2, which means I didn't
Okay.
get letter until Child 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well was so stacked. Like
I
that was
know.
insane.
Yeah.
There was just item after item.
I just went in like 17 minutes in, and it was just like he didn't even have bomb bag. He just ran in, and it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I sacked well.
Bombs didn't even lock anything really, right? No, 'cause
there
they
was
were
a scale at
smoking on
the
the
bottom.
first one.
Like,
But you had strength at the time, presumably. So that
No,
one would have been fine. Like I got that one with strength.
The hammer was super early too, so I mean, yeah, the bombs specifically didn't lock really a ton,
Yeah.
outside of required dungeon stuff. But
I I played really stupid and I ran out of bombs in bottom of the well, so I still have one check down there, which is crazy.
Oh, I
can't
almost
remember the
did.
last time I've done that.
I had 4 bombs entering bottom of the well.
Dang,
Oh.
I had one.
Oh no.
so are,
If
are
I,
you are you all happy this was not a qualifier race, or would you would have wanted
Yes.
it to be? Or
Well, judging by my
I don't know.
finish, yes. Judging by how happy I am with how I played, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
satisfied. I'm satisfied with the seed. The only point I should work, I should done differently. Was the end of the game. I should turn in the letter, and maybe I I would find the boomerang a lot earlier in the seed. But that's the randomizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hindsight.
And for you, Rock?
I probably would have been happy with this finish in a qualifier. I mean, obviously there'd be a little bit more entrance, so I'd probably be pushed down a little bit. But honestly, I think this would have been fine for me.
I guess turning in letter is even like worse than I thought because you don't have minuet or serenade, and the child spawns in CAC, which I guess is fairly close, but not really.
I had a great opportunity after beating water there. I got my Farars. I should have gone there, and at least done the boomerang check, or I don't know, just set Farars inside Jabo and bail out.
Yeah, did you have the OoT hint at the time?
Yeah, I got the OoT hint in the back of lake.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I never got the OoT hint because those are my first two dungeons. Like Deku and Jalpi were my first two.
Wow.
According to Mr. Martin in chat, there was a bow at the target in the woods.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Of course.
There was a slingshot in there was a slingshot in Jabu. Yeah, so
Outside
you're never
Ganon's castle. Outside Ganon's castle had one as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Wait, no,
Yeah.
OGC had a. Oh wait, yeah, OGC was.
OGC was a slingshot. Yeah. I got two of them. Yeah, there's no way you're ever going back to slingshot target after, unless you're turning in Skull Mask. But like, you would have done that. Yeah, there's really no way to get that. That's just like a pretty awful place for it. Because presumably you would do Deku and everything before you get any of that.
Yeah, I definitely felt that the decision to go well early was good, and the decision to go domain earlier was better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the boomerang couldn't be in the river chest.
That would have been really bad for me.
I thought because there should be a bow somewhere early in the seed that you can do GTG. You get the 9 keys, and the Song of Time isn't required for hover boots. So I placed my bet on river chest, but it didn't work.
Dang. The river chest is especially bad because you don't have a bow. Like when I did water, I didn't have a bow, so I went
same case.
I went a bit down to the river chest, and I almost got there, and I was like, wait, I can't do this, and then I save quit.
Yeah.
It was really neck and neck between Rock and Ice at the end. Rock entered Ganon like 10 seconds ahead of you, but he just had a fumble with the boss fight, which let you pull ahead of him.
I
It was
accidentally
exactly at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I accidentally slashed the hammer on Ganon. I guess my finger just went off the trigger. I mean, I said this earlier, but I'm kind of repeating it right now because I went here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent like an extra 30 seconds on Ganon phase 1, which was not fun.
But it was a good race by everyone. Congratulations to all. Hope you all had fun.
Oh, I did. This was definitely a really fun seed.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
It's always fun doing OOT unhinted.
When it pays out, yeah.
Yeah, when it pays out, but then sometimes you just get you get prelude when both your spawns are in market.
That's why we play randomizer.
Yeah, randomable rando sometimes. That's for sure. No, GG's. Any final questions from chat? We're gonna wrap up here though. GG's to Francois, 35, finishing in 20th at the time of 3:41.58. Sniping Liam 6, 21st, 3:42.05. A lot of really, really close finishes today. Three of our runners here on Restream finishing within 3 minutes of each other, and the entire Restream being less than 15 minutes apart. Very close race overall. And GG's.
GG's all.
Thank you guys, GG's.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that news wrap up. So, shoutouts to our forerunners on Restream today. We had Rockshalik, Goro, Dean, Portikoff, and Ice9. Ice9 and Cordy be having their first Restreams today. Well done. Nice placements as well.
Thanks.
To all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoutouts also to our two commentators today, Zelplay and Emo Soda. Thank you for keeping us all entertained. And GG's. And thank you for hope you had fun. This is certainly an interesting seed to watch, and I'm sure it was fun to commentate. As well,
Yeah.
shoutouts to our 4 trackers today helping out behind the scenes. K-Next Storage, Ginger Sunny, Mentor Leica, and Soulblade 128. As well as to our Shadow, who is our main restreamer. I helped do some setup and wrapping it up. Thanks to everyone in chat for watching. We're going to be wrapping it up here now, so let me quickly go over the Zelda speedrun schedule for the week. Before we call it quits for the night. So looking ahead, so pretty quiet weekend due to the holidays, which I hope everyone has been enjoying, whatever they celebrate. There's not much going on, but tonight / tomorrow morning / very early in the morning in some cases, depending on your time zone, we have a fundraising special. The Ocarina of Time Randomizer support team has put together a special plando for our beloved admin Trezco. There will be a 24-hour stream starting at 2:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. UTC, or 8:30 a.m. Central European time. That Trez will be doing a 24-hour stream playing this OOTR Randomizer by the Randomizer support team. So it's gonna be about as mean as I possibly can get. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's as a result of our promise at Tresme during our Tank 1 charity event about a month ago. So tomorrow we'll be gathering funds for Red Nose Day's Full Plate Project, a charity campaign fighting against child poverty, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. I did not realize Blame Trez is not a command. Indeed, always blame Trez. So we're going to have fun and laugh at Trez as he plays through what is really going to be a pretty diabolical plando. Should be an interesting time. We also have tomorrow the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard EU Weekly, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Our regular run-of-the-mill weekly. We'll see how that goes, and that'll be it for this weekend. Our next couple events on ZSR will be on Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern, /4 p.m. UTC. We have a sub-goal reward. Johnny Game Show versus will be facing off against Trez in a Spirit Tracks 90% flying race. And then at 1 p.m. The same day, we'll have a Wind Waker Spoiler Lock Tournament Losers Bracket Round 16 matches, CS versus Lanamphy. And on Friday, the New Year, at 2 p.m. Eastern, at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. UTC, we have another sub-goal reward to mark off the New Year. Trez will finally be finishing out that sub-goal from way back when of playing the CDI games from CDI games with the Zelda's Adventure. It'll be a lot of fun, and there's going to be more stuff going on besides. Check out the schedule and follow CSR's channels: ZeldaSpeedRuns, ZeldaSpeedRuns 2, ZeldaSpeedRuns _3, and ZeldaSpeedRuns _4. Thank you for watching, everyone. This is going to be pretty much it for us tonight. We're going to go over and raid Cuphat, who is still plugging through the seed. Still looking for Nocturne, it seems, and we'll go over, say hi, see how he's doing, and call it a night. Happy holidays, everyone, and thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, have a
Good
night,
night.
everyone.